hello everyone. If you can hear me, say little green guy. No, say dark elf. Say dark elf. And then I will know that you can hear me. While listening to yesterday's stream, boy, that audio was so bad. I apologize. It does that weird like mumble garble thing sometimes, and I still don't know why. And it really happens during these intros. Part of it is because I'm very animated when I speak. My hands are always moving, so that's probably part of it. But I got to figure out these microphone settings somehow. So if it gets real bad, let me know in the chat to say like garble, garble, garble or something. Because there were parts in yesterday's stream where just like an entire paragraph would just be blah, 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 blah. So I hope it's okay. I'll have to try to keep my voice down maybe. Maybe I should just do ASMR. All right. So today is, I think, day 8 of the Final Fantasy IV translation comparison thing we're doing here. Today we're in the middle of the Fabul stuff right now. So we're gonna do when a Baron invades Fabul. Then we're gonna do like the crystal room with Golbez and Kain and all that. And then we'll do the scene and at the end where Yang talks to everyone about what to do next. Hopefully there'll be time, and then we'll go do the stuff on the boat. And then we'll probably stop there if we get that far, like after Cecil gets messed up and washes ashore. That's what we'll do. So there's going to be a lot of fighting, but only like for story stuff maybe. And story stuff is kind of weird, but it's going to be a long, talkative day. So let's begin. I got a couple things to do first. First, we had some questions. And the other day, someone asked, is Rosa, is her class in Final Fantasy IV the same as the white magician class or whatever in Final Fantasy I? And it turns out that, I mentioned yesterday that they start out as Shiro Majutsushi in Japanese. But they do the class change, and they end up going to Shiro Madōshi. And so that does match with Rosa in FF4. So she's like the advanced form of the FF1 mages, I guess. Madōshi is what sort of the standard term becomes later on in the Final Fantasy series. Majutsushi, I don't think they hold on to that for too long. Although I do have to mention that I think that Madōshi in Final Fantasy 1, if you write it in kanji, they were using the Michi kanji, but they more commonly will use the Michibiku kanji, if you know Japanese. If you don't know Japanese, then you can just make a fun joke right now. All right, so there's that BBQ question. Another one that I skipped yesterday was this death scream for the Sahagin. And I talked about how this is like a kind of fan favorite line in Japanese, and Japanese fans like it. It was never big enough to become like something that was in Dissidia or anything, but it was just a memorable death scream that fans liked. So people were asking me, how would I have done this if I had translated this? I just threw this together real quick, but I have like oo. So in Japanese it goes oo, gu, pe, 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 pe. Like it's making a really unique sound, maybe like spitting something or drowning sounding or something. It's hard to know, but it's unique. So I kind of wrote a couple options that could have conveyed that in English, just like spelled oo, pe, pe, pe in different ways to try to convey the weirdness of the phonetics in Japanese here. Actually, so I've listed 3 options here, but what I would do in my professional work was whenever something could go multiple ways, I would usually like include at least 2 to 3 options, and then just let like the DVD people or the dub people just pick and choose whatever they want. And I didn't realize it for about a year, but what would happen is they would pretty much just use whatever was the first one, and it took me about a year to figure that out. So sometimes there'll be like weird things in my translations, but I had other options in there. Okay, so that's the ugu pe pe pe. All right. Another thing is yesterday we met Yang's wife, and I talked about how she speaks in kind of a fiery way in Japanese. There's a strong dialect in there. It's very different from how Yang speaks. Yang speaks very formally and things. But in the PlayStation 1 translation, which came out in like 99, I think, am I right? Or is that 2000? I can't remember. They went kind of heavy with the country accent, American country accent, country gal, Southern Belle, I sometimes will say. I have a couple examples on the screen right now where Yang's wife is saying, well, that was mighty kind of y'all. Y'all are like Yang's guardian angels. I don't have any more screenshots handy right now. She doesn't have many lines in the game, but there's more to come, so maybe we'll look at those later. But it's kind of interesting how it was kind of heavy in the original PlayStation translation, but the GBA and the PSP scripts, they're all kind of like based on this PlayStation 1 script translation. And so, but they kind of tone her down a little bit over time. I don't know where it's at now. I don't know what they did with Pixel Remaster. If you go to my site, legendsoflocalization.com, I have a whole big old write-up on this stuff. All right. There was another thing I was thinking about yesterday, and I want to share it here. It's another, like 15 years ago, I did an interview for a Japanese company, like a Japanese game translation company. They were called AGM, and they later became Playism, or they opened Playism or something. I'm not really sure. I don't even know if Playism is around anymore. But if you're a gamer, if you're a deep gamer, you probably have heard those names. So anyway, they were interviewing me simply for a blog post they wanted to do, and it was about my Mother 3 fan translation, which had come out like 2 years before. And there's a little piece in it that I kind of want to read, because I want to see what you guys think as we go through this stream series. It'll start to make sense. Okay, so the question that I got was, do you feel that translation/localization is an art, a skill, a craft? How do you define it? Why? And then I answer, this is always a tricky question. My opinion is that translation is a craft or skill, and localization is an art. So I've already defined earlier in this interview what I think localization is, but the problem is that everyone uses the word localization to mean something different. I'm coming at it from a translator's perspective, where localization is what you do when you can't do a literal translation, like with jokes and accents and stuff. Business people and other people call localization something else. Okay, FF4 was released in 2001. Whoa, okay. And for some reason I thought it was earlier. Okay, so continuing my answer. When I translate a sentence, I see the original sentence almost as a painting that the mind creates as the sentence progresses. The most important parts of the sentences, usually facts, nouns, or the point of a sentence, have an emphasis in the painting. Things like tone of speech and nuances add little flares to the painting too as the sentence goes along. There's probably also a layer of feelings and thoughts in there that we can't express easily in words. Altogether, a sentence of text has a detailed, flowing, painting-like quality to it. We kind of have looked at stuff like that, how there's like little nuances deep down in there, but then there's also the really important facts that kind of are more important. All these things are in there. Okay, so from that view, I see translators as people who take these paintings and try to recreate them as closely as possible, using different tools than the original. Some languages are very similar, so the brushes are similar, meaning the translations will be pretty close to the original. Some languages are very different, so their brushes will be very different. So translating something from Spanish to English might be like painting a copy of the Mona Lisa with watercolor paints. But translating the same thing from Japanese to English might be like trying to draw a copy of the Mona Lisa with crayons. Besides the tool differences, the skill of the translator/copy painter is also important. This is why I feel translation is a craft, but not necessarily an art form. Localization, on the other hand, requires the creativity to create something new. So even if you're stuck trying to draw the Mona Lisa with a broken crayon, you can use some creativity to get a better result than you would have otherwise. I would say that act of creating something new is an art form. So it kind of hopefully fits with everything I've been saying on the streams so far. And as we go along, try to keep that in mind and see if any of that makes sense to you. It might be neat to see in action. Okay, now I think we can begin beginning. Oh wait, I have a couple other things. Let's see. Oh, Yesterday, let me bring this back up. But yesterday, we encountered an enemy. It was like a spirit ghost enemy, and we saw that in easy type. It had a different name than spirit, and it was Adashibi. And so I looked that up, and from what I can tell, even Japanese people are not really sure what to think about that word. But the Japanese guides, or Japanese guides offer like the kanji, possible kanji for it, and it's kind of what I was thinking. It's kind of like a monster fire, or like a grudge fire, or just something like some kind of evil fire. Let's see, anything else? Oh, what got me into translation? That was a good question I had yesterday. I sort of answered it yesterday, but I want to say I was thinking about it, and pretty much like 30 years ago, maybe to like the month or so, I'm not really sure, is probably when it happened. And I was in high school. I studied. I took Spanish classes all 4 years, and I was generally pretty far ahead of everyone else. So I was kind of advanced, and so I was often just allowed to do my own things, but I would still like follow along with everyone else too. And so one weekend we were given a like completely Spanish language little magazine. It was like just a little magazine for learners, and rather than just like do the normal homework, I just went crazy and translated the whole mini magazine. And then when I went to school, I printed it out, and then I made copies. I just made a whole bunch of copies on a copy machine, and then I sold those little like translated mini magazines. I even included like little tomato comics and stuff. I think I don't know if I have any of that left, but I sold them for like the price of the copies. And that was like the first time where I did translation, and then there was a target audience, and I got paid for it and all that, and it was just so much fun for me. And I think that was where I got into translation. I was like, oh, this fits so well with me. But after high school, I put Spanish away for a while, for about 30 years. I'll probably get back into it soon. But when I was learning Japanese, the two languages would collide in my head in weird ways that I'll talk about some other day. But that's how I got into translation, I would say. All right, I think that's all we got to do here. Let's get to the game. All right. Hopefully the audio was all good. I'm trying to be quiet here. Okay. So we're sort of in the middle of this. I don't remember if I already, well, but I do want to show off first. There's two things. I want to get some equipment. I want to go to the equipment shop in here and get equipment now while I can. Also, I should probably de-equip Rosa, because she's not gonna be around for long. All right, so we're in the armory. We're gonna buy some stuff. Okay, so we have some claws here. Oh, I can make this big. Let me make this big. It'll be easier for everyone. Okay. All right. Okay, so we were in the shop, and we can buy a bunch of things. So we have a Hono no Tsume, which is a flame. I guess claw, yeah, or nails. Kori no Tsume, which is ice nails or claw. Ikazuchi no Tsume, which is thunder or lightning. I guess lightning might be. Then we have a Demonzu Herumu, which is a demon helm. Demonzu Ama, demon's armor. And Akuma no Kote, which is like a devil bracer or something. For some reason, I want to equip Yang with the thunder ones. Are those best? Are those the best ones? I can never remember what's best. Alright, get those. While we're here, I'm going to get the demon helm, demon armor, and the Akuma thing. Alright. Okay, so nothing. So that name did not change. The Ikazuchi, the thunder one, did not change in easy type. Let me just equip that stuff. I'm getting ready for the battle that's about to happen. Alright, we're putting that one on, and that one on. And then, okay, so we have the, alright, Alright, so this flame claw is called fire claw, flame claw, fire claw. Those are okay. Akuma no Kote, the demon bracer, demon gauntlet, became just black in Super NES. Demon gauntlet, or just demon in J2E and demon in naming way. The demon's armor, this did change in the easy type. It became the Akuma no Yoroi, which is the same word in Japanese. So when you learn Japanese, what you're doing is you're actually learning, here we have the easy type uses actual Japanese. Then there's the Demonzu Ama, which is the English. So they use English so much in Japanese that you are basically relearning English as well. They use English very strangely over there sometimes. And then of course you're learning Chinese at the same time. So that's kind of why maybe Japanese learning takes so much time, is you're just learning a whole bunch of languages at once on top of multiple writing systems. Alright, so Demon Helm. Oh wait, J2E's changed this. Okay. The Demon's Helm became probably Akuma no Kabuto, which is the same thing, like a demon helmet. Anything else that's new here? Alright. So I'm going to equip those on Cecil here. Oh, I forgot. He technically has 2 shields on right now. Let me do something here. There could be something silly going on. I might be able to get some more money. Alright. So he's got that. Let me try selling that. Maybe that'll do something. Okay. Alright, I'm quitting my tricks and I'm gonna just equip him normally now. Oh, wait a minute, he doesn't have a shield. Okay. Ankoku no Kabuto became... Oh, that seems weaker. Is this backwards? Is that the weaker stuff, actually? The Hades stuff seems stronger after all. Yeah, oops, I just bought my old stuff. Yep, I just bought my old stuff. I'm pretty dumb. I usually don't buy stuff here anyway, so... Okay, sell that, sell that, sell that. Something's at the bottom of the list? What's at the bottom of the list? Okay, the Akuma no Kote actually is good. Okay, so I'm just dumb and I was choosing the wrong items all along. Okay, so I have beefed up Cecil here. Thanks, chat. One thing I really like about games is that it's not just a one-sided thing. The players watching are also completely part of the game as well. So the watchers on are just as important as the players, I feel. So thanks for your help, you guys. Okay, I'm just gonna sell this stuff now. Sell this rod, sell this. Okay, I do want to see if I can get, oh, okay, so Yang isn't gonna get any more equipment, it looks like. Unless I have something already. For head, what can he wear? Oh, he can wear that, okay. And that, let's put that on there. Okay, we're good. Alright, now we're gonna go outside and I kind of want to show off a little bit of Yang's stuff because I didn't do that yesterday. Alright, if you're curious, the current score is Super NES, -103, J2E is -21, and Naming Way is 109, -109. I consider Naming Way and Super NES to be on par with each other, despite the numbers, because there's so many, it could go either way situations so far. It's within the margin of error. Alright, so let's look at Yang's attacks and such. I think there's only one thing that's new to him. Okay. So here he can do what's called Tameru, and I don't remember if we have that in Super NES, but this just means to to store up or to build up something, to build up power. You Tameru it. And what that does in this game is, I think, it wastes one turn, but when the next turn comes around, you attack, and the attack is like significantly stronger, but it might be a waste. Oh, alright. So, he's doing his technique, tameru, and now there's a message up top. In Japanese, it says, Chikara o tamete kougeki ryoku 2 bai. So, charging up strength, attack power times 2. That changed in or the easy type maybe. So let's see. Oh, this whole, yeah, it got removed from easy type, so it just became the letter D. And the Super NES is also letter D. J2E says attack power doubled. Knowing that it's doubled is good for gameplay mechanics. Naming way just says storing power ... And so what's happening isn't as clear. I would have liked that clearness to be in there. At the very least, just say twice double, or like double attack. So naming way, I'll take one off on that. Again, game mechanics are important. Alright. Alright, so I'm letting him build up. He has this like weird white, 2 white pixels that makes it look like he has really long front teeth or something while he's doing this. Okay, so he hit pretty strong there. Yang finally did his attack. That poor little goblin had no idea what was coming. Alright, so we're gonna look at his next one. Come on, Yang. Alright, so Yang also has the kick command. Kick in Japanese here is keri. Keru is to kick. There's also one more technique that I think was removed from Super NES, and that's Gaman. Gaman is to like endure something. So let's see what that does. Gaman. So that was called defense. It was just dumbing out in the other versions. But upon using it, a text box appears and says Bogyo Ryoku Uppu, so defense power up. And it looks like that's probably gonna be dummied out in easy type. It is indeed dummied. What a dummy. Alright, so in Super NES that became D. Like, so I guess if you could like hack it so that you could do this in Super NES, it would just say D up there. J2E defense up. Naming way, defense increased. Alright, so let's just kill these guys now. Alright, now they're dead. I'm gonna unequip Rosa now. I guess I don't need to if I'm gonna do my money tricks. Alright, so I think Rosa leveled up and learned Cure 2. That's Kiaruda in Japanese. That whole the modern thing with like Kiraga, Kiraja, the way that we saw earlier on day 1 or 2, it's kind of like the joke is that it's you're conjugating words, you're conjugating verbs maybe, and those are the conjugation suffixes. That was like a grammar joke back earlier in the game. Yang has also leveled. Hello to everyone. Alright, oh, the 1-step attack. That's when you know it's gonna be a long day. Again, I don't wanna skip battles. I find that the game gets a lot harder if you do that. Unless you cheat. I could cheat. I cheated all the way through Breath of Fire 2 about 10 years ago on stream. I don't feel too bad about that. Alright. Gilbert has leveled up. Unfortunately, he's gonna not be with us too much longer. He's not gonna die, but he won't be with us much longer. Yeah, Breath of Fire 2 is much grindier. I got that feeling. That's probably why I did that. I'd like to revisit that someday. Maybe start with 1. The jump from Breath of Fire 1's translation to 2, I really want to see that because Breath of Fire 1 was Ted Woolsey and done by Square Enix, or published by Square Enix, and then 2 I think was done by Capcom and then published by Capcom. And I want us to see that divide in skill and care. Like, there's probably like a lot of interesting things in there. All right, and then we could compare them with like the fan retranslations. So if all goes well, maybe I'll just keep doing this for like the next 10 years. I'll just keep playing games this way, if people are cool with that. I can unequip her, maybe. There's like no reason to. But I want to make it clear to Rosa that I don't want her to fight, or like Cecil doesn't really want Rosa to fight. So I'm just listening to what Cecil is asking me. What else? So was there anything else? Okay, we're just gonna go in. All right, the story's gonna begin. So we've done all this last night. We have to do all of this over. Luckily, we don't have to today. The back of Cecil's head looks like such a weird, looks like a sad emoji. Looks like a weird blue pumpkin. It's weird. All right, we have to say yes here. I need to, oh yeah, I gotta show you that. All right, so here's the part where you have to say yes or the game will stop and make you just redo it all. So in the PlayStation 1, as we have seen, or like I've documented in the past, the PlayStation 1 translation kind of goes wacky with things. So if you say no here in the PlayStation, this is what happens. The director shows up, or just like in text, it says FF director, cut, and then I think there's more text after that, but I didn't have a screenshot handy. But basically it breaks the fourth wall. That was a strong feeling back in the days, to just make things goofier, make things less serious sometimes in a North American game translation. All right, let me go back to the game. I gotta take a drink of water just a second. All right, I gotta make this big. Oops. All right, here we go. I have to start speaking. All right, so we have just accepted the king's request for help. So Yang now says, "Kono kata tachi wa subarashi ude o omochi desu." Again, he's being polite about us, all of us. He's calling us kata instead of hito. So it's like these gentlemen, these fine people, you could maybe say. Not just people, but fine people. These fine people possess incredible skill. Literally, they possess wonderful arms. Literally, the ude is ude up here, but ude also can mean skill. Okay, and let's see, that's how that came about in Super NES. They are all outstanding combatants. All right, so that's how that was in Super NES. I'm okay. J2E. These people are extremely skilled in the fighting arts. He's pretty emphatic with it in the original. Looks like J2E only changed some formatting here. Okay. Naming way. They're all outstanding combatants. All right. I'll say that's okay. Then he continues. Watashi to tomo ni sai-zensen ni tsuite itadakimasu. I'm going to. He's being very polite, but he's saying that they are going to join me on the front lines, basically. He's being pretty polite about us, using the itadakimasu even. Alright. That became in Super NES. I asked them to take the forefront. Like, the formality of that phrase is really nice. I really like that. Super NES did good. And, yeah, kind of, there's a lot of neat things going on there. Alright. J2E. Please allow them to fight with me on the front lines. No, he's not asking for permission. He's saying this is going to happen. I would have... It's such a minor thing. I won't mess with it. Oh, yeah, another thing. Sometimes when I'm moving the mouse around, I move the mouse around a lot, right? Apparently, the mouse movement seems to cause my microphone stuff to think there's sound that needs suppression. And if I'm talking, it'll suppress my sound, some of my words. I think that's what's happening sometimes. So I gotta be real careful. I gotta be real quiet with my mouse movements, maybe. Alright, I would have liked that differently, but that's okay. Naming way. I request they join me at the front lines. It just seems like it's a rewrite, but we'll stick with it. Like, it would be real easy to get picky on all these, but we have a long way to go. Alright, so in response now, the king of Fabul says, Onushi ga sokomade yu no nara, sonatara ni kakete miyo. And it says if the king speaks in an old style and uses the word onushi for you, which is old. Onushi, where is it up here? Oops. Onushi is another way of saying you, archaic, when referring to one's equals or inferiors. So he's talking down, but it's not, I mean, he's a king, he's allowed to. So he's saying, if you were that sure, or if you're going to go to such lengths to say such things, or if you're that insistent, then I will wager on them, I will bet on them. Like, we will count on them, I guess. Let's see how these go. So if you're that insistent, then I shall bet on them, I guess. It's hard to translate that one. Kakete miru. So kakeru is one of those words in Japanese that has literally probably like 100 meanings, but they all kind of have like a strong core that combines them all. All right, Super NES, very well. I leave the matter in your hands. So he's saying specifically, so all of your hands or all of their hands. I'm gonna say he's talking about the group, I think, here in Japanese. So things become ambiguous in Super NES, but whatever. J2E. If you're this insistent, I shall leave this matter in your hands, Yang. I don't think that's what this is. I feel like this is a translation mistake. Yeah, because we've already talked about, the da here is a pluralizing suffix. But here he's just saying, I leave it in your hands, Yang, so that's a mistake there. The your in Super NES and the naming way, that your is left ambiguous. Is it plural or singular? And that's why I'm not marking anything off. It would be nice to have it more clear, but oh well. Anyway, in naming way, it says, I leave the battle in your hands. Basically, he is, I don't know. Let's continue. Musume tachi wa kyugo no nin ni tsuite morao. And then that's kind of like, we'll have, or I'll have the girls, I'll have them deal with the task of like relief work, Kyugo, what was that? Relief and aid, yeah. So we'll have them do the, like, I don't know, the medical attention stuff. Alright, so that becomes girls, in Super NES, girls. Would you take the office of relief? And that's a strange phrasing, although the phrasing in Japanese is kind of like older style. Nin nitsuku. Nin is like, what is it? Obligation, duty, charge, responsibility. Like that's your duty now. Your duty will be to do the relief aid stuff. Okay. J2E. This becomes, ladies, since you possess the white magic skill, would you provide medical aid? The white magic skill is not in the original. I'm going to take that off because in the Japanese fan sites, Japanese fans, there's a lot of discussion on this specific line. Like, why send them away Why is the king sending them away? Why is he so okay with sending them away? And then, it's like, well, obviously they both have white magic, and they need to help everyone. But at the same time, wouldn't they be really important to have on the front lines also? So there's like arguments in the Japanese fan community about those things. And this just spells that out. It takes away all like ambiguity, like it adds details not in the original source. And if that had been in the original Japanese, then there never would have been any of those like questions and discussions. So it's an important line in a way. So I already took that off there. Alright, naming way. Medical aid isn't necessarily the same either, but oh well. Might you two ladies kindly give assistance to our healers? I like the phrasing. It's kind of a non-standard way of phrasing it, so that sounds good. But something about it doesn't flow the same way as I would like, but I'm going to just skip it. Alright, the next line. Rosa says in Japanese, wakarimashita, which kind of means just understood or alright. Understood. And then, okay, let's see how that goes. Certainly is in the Super NES. Very well. It's kind of wakarimashita in this case feels like matter of fact, almost like clinical. Like she understands that this is I'm losing my brain, I'm sorry. But certainly is okay, but I like very well. And certainly, exclamation is a naming way. Like there's a resolve, just like a quiet resolve that I get out of Rosa's line here after all the stuff that has been said. And certainly exclamation feels a little bit off to me. The point gets through. I won't mark off on that though. Alright. Then the king of Fabul says Tanomuzo. That means something like I'm counting on you or we're counting on you. That line missing in Super NES, so Super NES will lose a point. Okay. J2E. It says Yang, I'm counting on you. In the original Japanese, there's no reference to Yang specifically. He might be talking to Rosa or to all, but it doesn't seem to me that he's specifically talking to Yang. So mark off on J2E here. Did that change at all? No, that was still in the old patch. And then that line from the King of Fabul, like, we're counting on you, I'm counting on you, is missing in naming way. So point off on naming way. Then Yang responds to the king by going ha. And again, that's like saying yes, sir, yes, sir, in general. So, does that even show up on here, I wonder? Ha. It doesn't. What if I do this? What if I do that? No. Okay. So, Yang doing his, like, yes, your majesty, or yes, sir, or whatever, is missing in a Super NES, so -1 point on that. And J2E says, I will guard my country with my life. That is not what is said in any way. So J2E misses that point. See, like, the scoring system that I've implemented here is pretty poor. I feel like adding text is probably, like adding text and things and dialogue and stuff, things that aren't there probably feel worse than if something is missing. But because so much is missing from Super NES and naming way, J2E stands above. If we had separated everything, it would have been better. Alright, naming way is also missing the Yang going ha, so a point off on naming way. Alright. Yang turns to Cecil and says, Dewa Seshiru Dono. And that means something like, well then, Sir Cecil, or now then, Sir Cecil. Super NES, that became now Cecil. The Dono was missing. It would have been nice to have a Sir in there, because, he's talking like an honorable warrior. That's like sort of his speech style. Like in Final Fantasy VI, there's Cyan or Kain, their two speech patterns are pretty similar, although in some ways. In other ways, Cyan is way different. There's a light is blinding me from a reflection. I have to change the outside window stuff. Let me do that. Okay. After listening to especially yesterday's stream, I've noticed that anytime I reposition in my chair, there's no knowing what the audio will end up doing, so I hope I still sound okay. Alright. So I would have liked a Sir or something in the Super NES, but I won't mark that off. J2E says, well then, Sir Cecil, and yeah, that's kind of what it's going for. Looks like there's a formatting change, nothing there. Naming Way says, let's prepare. Like, Yang is getting ready, like, he's like, okay, we gotta go do this, let's go. And he's kind of matter of fact and, I don't know, quieter about it in Naming Way. I would like to have had that better, so Naming Way will lose a point. Okay, at present is good. Thank you. Alright, so now Cecil, Edward, and Yang depart. And leaving Rosa and Rydia in the throne room. And then Rosa, before they can leave, Rosa steps behind and says Seshiru in Japanese, and that is Cecil. A rare case of all of the translations all matching. It's nice. It's nice to see that. The world is in alignment for this short moment. Now is your moment of peace before the crazies begin. Alright, Seshiru. So, Yang and Edward continue to leave the room. Now Cecil's still stuck here and looking at Rosa. Rosa says, "Kyotsukete ne, ... and that means be careful, okay, ... So that ... shows concern, hesitation or concern. There's something's holding her back. And then, let's see, that became Take Care in Super NES. Take Care Cecil in J2E. The Cecil's not technically in the original, but it's okay. And then in Naming Way, it became Take Care. I really would have liked ... Maybe she has like a bad feeling for something about to happen. Alright, so Cecil says in Japanese, Kimi mo ... Rydia doza o tanomu. And then that means you too ... Rydia. Take care of Rosa or look after Rosa, something like that. So he's asking Rydia to look after Rosa because he's worried, maybe, I don't know. All right. Then Super NES, that becomes so do you, and you, Rydia. That's not what's being, like, the point is that he is asking Rydia to take care or look after or to support Rosa. Like, he's worried about Rosa a little bit and wants Rydia to help out. Why is he asking, like, this 6-year-old girl to help this, like, master archer magician woman who's like, I think Rosa's like 20 right now, right? Or 19 or something. Man, all these characters are so young. I think Cecil's 20, by the way. Oh my gosh. I have at least 2 Cecils in me now. I'm the paladin. That's what I am. Alright, so a point off on Super NES there. J2E, you too, ... Okay, that's good. Rydia, take care of Rosa. Okay, J2E gets that. I really like that J2E got everything really good on this one line. Then, Naming Way. Rosa had said, take care. Cecil now says, you too. Rydia, keep Rosa safe for me. Alright, that's fine. I really would have liked also Cecil to have the ... because maybe the hesitation is like they finally met up and now they have to part again. And after everything that just happened, they don't want to get separated again. All right. Okay, so Cecil is 20, Rosa is 19, Ying is 35. Damn, you want that experience. He's got 15 years more experience than Cecil. I would say that makes him very much Cecil's senpai. Or ninpai, I guess, I don't know. Alright, so there's that. Okay, Rydia nods, and Cecil departs, and the screen fades to black. Sid is 54. Yeah, I was about 12 when I played this, so so that makes us old. So if you're an old like me, what should I guess first, what a crazy life it's been so far, huh? Like the world's been so crazy in our lifetime. We have the pre-internet and the post-internet, and just all the crazy politics of the world. But we have video games too. And then second, if you're an old like me, please take care of your back and your health, because that stuff starts to get bad at this age. Watch your back. Take care of your backs. All right, so now Cecil, Edward, and Yang stand at the front of Castle Fabul with some guards behind them. What's happening is Baron, which is like the #1 military nation of the world, they got real strong and they built up their airships and technology and stuff. And now they've been like kind of co-opted by a corrupt king. And now Baron has been going around just like demolishing all the other kingdoms. So we destroyed, or like we messed up Mysidia real bad. Possibly killed people, I don't know. But we took the crystal. Then Baron had Misc destroyed. And then they bombed Damsian. And now they're coming here for the Fabul, and they're gonna just invade and blast everything that they can. It doesn't matter that this is like its own kingdom. It can run itself, but all that power of Baron has been corrupted, and all that power is now being turned at allies like this. So we're now, like Cecil, Yang, and Edward are now going to take on most of Baron's forces as they attack the castle. A guard shows up and shouts, "Kimashita!" That means they've come, or they came. But past tense doesn't always work 1-to-1 between Japanese and English, so I think technically it would be called aspect that they use in Japanese. We use tense, but so this doesn't need to be past tense. More like they're here. So Super NES goes, "They are coming," and that's fine. Like here they come, kind of feeling. J2E, here they come. And then Naming Way says, "Here they come." It gives the Japanese text here just has like a quote mark for Kimashita, so like an unnamed character is saying Kimashita. And in the Super NES, that is just left unstated. The speaker's name is left unstated. J2E is also left unstated because it's in quotes, like single quotes. But in Naming Way, it says guard. It adds a little something there. All right, so then Yang says in response, "Mukai ute." So, meet them in battle and fight back is how that flows or feels. Mukai ute. Yeah, to meet the enemy is how that feels. And then sometimes you can condense it down to ambush, attack, or assault. But since we're being assaulted, it's more like meet the enemy as they come. All right, Super NES, that became Yang says meet them. J2E, that becomes move out to meet them. I guess what's happening is basically not saying like go out to meet them, but more like I guess that could happen. You could say that, but more like when they arrive, you go to meet them. You don't retreat. You go to them. All right, Naming Way, have at them. Okay, there's a little bit of Mukai ute. This little A is a little extender, non-standard, and that's I like that this became have at 'em in Naming Way. Although that kind of seems weird for a formal martial arts master to say, but that's kind of what I see in there. What is J2E? Oh, just some formatting. let's continue. Oops. Alright, monsters arrive. Alright, so the monsters arrive. Well, I guess they were monsters, but now they're humans, it looks like. So Cecil, Yang, and Gilbert are now in battle, and they're fighting what are called in Japanese a captain, and then the Baron Kaihei. So in Japanese it's Kyaputen, like literally. Let me just hold up. Okay, so this is just Kyaputen is how that would be pronounced, and it's just captain, the English word captain. Like Japanese has its own word for captain if they wanted, but English sounds cool. For some reason, in Super NES, that became general, and we saw that there was a weird general problem back in Kaipo with these guys, so something weird's going on, but I'm gonna take off a point because that's not what's going on. Knowing that it's a captain is good. If we were fighting a general here, that's like a big deal. You're fighting a general. And then it's captain in J2E and captain in Naming Way. This is the same battle? Really? I thought they had different colors. So this is a general problem. Alright, so, and then these other ones are called, these other enemies, they're called Baron Kaihei, which means like Baron Sea Soldier, literally. Sea Soldiers, Kaihei. So usually that could be translated as maybe like a Navy soldier, or maybe you can also translate it as Marine. And that was one of the hugest problems back when I used to translate One Piece professionally. They would, sometimes they would just put like the word Marine and Navy sometimes in English on screen, and it was weird. Like in America, like Marines and Navy are different, but not everywhere. Okay. So right now the captain is shouting in Japanese, Totsugeki, or Totsugeki. He's basically shouting charge, or like, that's what you would shout when you want your guys to do a charge. It looks like they took out that extra dash that was in there. So, because my delivery there was pretty weird sounding. It sounds better if you just go Totsugeki, something like that. Totsugeki, not Totsugeki. Alright, so that became charge in Super NES, charge in J2E, and charge in Naming Way. Those are all okay. Okay, alright. So the Baron Kaihei, what does my dictionary thing say for Kaihei? Sailor or Marine? Well, it's like a sea soldier, is how that works in the kanji. In the Super NES, Baron Sea Soldier became fighter. That's not good. The fact that it's the Navy is pretty cool to know, you know? That means that they must have, some of them might have like taken boats here. Normal boats, I don't know. There's the pier nearby. But you would never know that these were like a different type of branch of a military. Alright, in J2E, it's called Marine, which is fine. It was called Baron Marin. Baron Marin in the old patch for J2E. Because they were trying to keep all those details in. Whichever one, which one is better is probably up to your personal judgment. Let me know if you prefer one or the other in the comments or in the chat. And then it became Marine and Naming Way. Alright, so that's the deal with those guys, and now we're just gonna do some fights. I'm just doing some attacking. Okay, we got another charge happening at us. I mean, you don't know who you're fighting. You're just a captain. I am Cecil. Well, I'm not. I'm Tomato. Yeah, like, you don't need to know that it's from Baron because, you know, you already know that these guys are from Baron. It's just good details to have. It's always good to have details when possible. Alright. Okay, we finished that battle. Alright. So we took out some people who tried to storm us directly from the front gate. But now, something new is happening. And a voice, an unstated voice, just shouts, Akai Tsubasa da! It's the Red Wings! is how that goes. The Red Wings, 2 exclamations in Super NES. It's the Red Wings. And J2E. Oh, it looks like they added the quotes there. The original text here has like just the first quote. It's pretty common in Japanese to just have the first entrance quote like that. You don't need to put the other one underneath. But we don't do that in English so much. It'd be weird to just have an open quotation mark and then you mess things up. Okay. Then the Red Wings and name anyway. So that's all good. Alright. So Red Wings are about to attack. Explosions are rocking the castle and like somehow we're surviving. Alright. So Cecil says, Kono mama ja yararu dake da. At this rate, we'll just be done in, or at this rate, if we don't do something, we're gonna, all that's gonna happen is we're gonna die or get killed. That's how that kind of goes. In Super NES, that line became, we can't fight back the airships. So I feel like this got rephrased. It was probably something weirder, and this was rephrased to have a good logical flow. Like maybe someone near the end of the games, before the game was released, saw this line or saw this scene and was like, oh, I can tidy things up here and there. Technically, that's not what's being said. There's no word of airships or anything like that. But that's the implication. So I'm going to leave that for Super NES. It's okay. J2E gets a little closer to the original. We're just going to get killed like this. That's good. That's good phrasing for that. Naming way goes more with the Super NES style. We won't last against the airships. Okay, that's fine. Yang responds with Hitomazu Jounai made koutai suru! Exclamation. He said, for now, we will retreat to inside the castle. All of that became retreat. Like, it sounds like he had a plan, not just to retreat. Would have been nice for that plan to have been here. Right, and then in J2E it becomes inside the castle, hurry! Double exclamation. And naming away, just retreat. I would have liked the part about inside the castle. Like, the first sign of a problem and Yang just yells retreat. But it sounds like he's more like, oh yeah, this is the logical choice is right now is to go inside the castle and to take cover. But I'll let those pass. Okay, so we're retreating into the castle area. Alright. So a bunch of guards, so we're inside the castle now. A bunch of guards are in here, and Edward, Cecil, and Yang are talking. Yang shouts, Sumanai, Kachime no nai tatakai ni. And he's saying, I apologize. And then there's an unstated verb. There's like a verb missing from the Japanese text. And basically means, I'm sorry, into a battle that has no chance of winning, exclamation. So he's basically saying, I'm sorry that I dragged you into a battle with that has no chance of winning. Kachime no nai. Like no chance of success. Okay, Super NES, that became sorry. I dragged you into a hopeless war. Hopeless is little. I would have liked, like, we don't stand a chance. After everything we've just seen, we have no chance, is the idea. It's in there, so I'm okay. Yang says in J2E, I'm sorry, bringing you to a hopeless battle. Okay. The terseness and the strength of the original text, I'm not sensing it in these two translations here. But that's just very minor. Okay, so namingly says, sorry, I dragged you into a hopeless fight. Actually, it would get a little closer in the delivery, I feel, if we took out this comma here and just said, sorry, I dragged you into a hopeless fight. But that's for a separate context. I would recommend that. Okay. Next line. Cecil responds, Ita hazuda, boku tachi no tatakai demo aru to. And that means, I told you already, or like, I believe I told you. that I already told you that this is also our fight! Exclamation. Then the Super NES, that becomes I told you, the cause of war is not yours alone. The cause of war is not yours alone. He's really saying that, like, we're brothers, we're kind of like brethren in this battle, and I told you that before. But the cause of war is not yours alone is such a weird phrasing. And if this was like a translation course or something in a school, then that would probably get marked off. Alright, so J2E. As I said before, this is our fight as well. Okay, good. Naming way. I told you, this is our war too. I would have liked an exclamation there, but that's good. I think this is another one of the Japanese lines. Like, this is him being pretty cool. Itta hazu da boku tachi no tatakai de mo aru to. It sounds pretty cool in Japanese, and it seems to be like a lightly celebrated quote in Japanese fandom. And then, okay. Cecil continues. Sore ni make to kimata wake janai. Plus, it's not set in stone that we're gonna lose. And he's emphatic about that. And, like we haven't lost yet. It's not decided that we've lost yet. Okay, so sore ni became and ... We haven't lost yet. Yeah, that's okay. And J2E, and we haven't lost yet. That's fine. Yeah. And naming way, besides, it's not over yet. Yeah, sore ni for besides is good too. I really like the use of sore ni and besides. So it would be possible to get a little closer to the Japanese text here, but everyone does a decent job. Alright, so Gilbert now says, he kind of interrupts them maybe, I don't know, but says kuru, and he's stuttering here. Kuru, and that means like they're coming. This line is missing in Super NES, so it will lose a point. J2E, here they come. That's in there, good. Naming way, Gilbert's line is missing, so it will lose a point. Alright, more monsters arrive to attack us. We are joined by the presence of a Leshy that we saw earlier, like those ghostly girl monsters, then a Domovoi, and a Sahagin. So these are all enemies that we've met before. Edward has met them all before too. Alright. I'm gonna do a song on this ghostly Leishi. And it did a lullaby on it. It actually worked. Alright, well, I guess she's asleep, so we'll just kill this monster while she's sleeping on the job. They weren't expecting a bard when they attacked Fabul. It's the secret weapon. Cecil has gained a level. He's gonna lose that level on like 2 streams. Alright, more monsters appear and take out 2 of the guards in this room. So they're strong and just wiping everyone out. Then the monsters regroup and start attacking us. Yang says, Sagaruzo, and that means, let's withdraw, something like that. We must fall back. Sagaruzo. And that becomes, so the k is sort of like a frustration sound. K. So that's missing. His emotional response is missing there in Super NES. I could technically take a point out. I don't really mind it. It's okay. Sagaruzo became we must withdraw, and that's fine. He says it in a way that fits his character in English there. And the J2E says, damn, pull back. What was that before? I don't know. It was the same. Then the naming way, it doesn't do the k sound, but it says we must withdraw. It's the same as the Super NES. I'm getting some deja vu here. It's pretty crazy. It's deja vu I'm having. It's a tiny Kuso. It could be. Alright, so Cecil, Edward, and Yang have fallen back further into the castle. We're like one room away from the throne room, so we really have to hold things off here. And we're joined by two castle guards. The woodpecker has returned to mess with my house. Alright. Cecil says, Kono oe wa o no maja, ... exclamation question mark, and that's saying, up ahead, isn't that the throne room? Isn't that the king's room? Just up here? Like, he understands just how bad things are getting. Isn't this just the king's room right here? Right past here? Like that's, they're defending the castle but doing such a poor job that like they're almost gonna have to go to the king's room and try to protect that. Alright, so in Super... Oh, I have a text. Oh. Alright, Super NES. That line is missing. Cecil, like, being concerned about the king because the throne room is right behind there. So I'm going to take that off. It's pretty cool that he's thinking about a foreign king's safety. Super NES loses that point. J2E, isn't the throne room back here? In Japanese, we can see it uses the word ue, and that kind of means above or up here. And it is like up some steps. In J2, it uses back here. That feels more natural to me in English. It doesn't necessarily need to say up here. This back here is okay. But it's in there, that's good. I'm glad that line exists. It looks like the old J2 had something else. Isn't the king's room beyond here? Is what that used to be. Alright, and then naming way, Cecil's like comment is missing. We'll take a point off her in naming way. Yang responds, Go shinpai mesaru na. This line is dripping with Japanese like text decoration, I guess. But he's basically saying, worry not. Kind of politely too. Like worry yourself not, or something like that, I don't know. And that became okay. So let me look at what's happening here. Okay, so this first line by Cecil, it changed in easy type. Kono ue wa o no maja. It became Kono ue wa heika no heya ja. Isn't up here His Majesty's room? So the fancy word for o no ma is like the king's quarters, the king's room. And they just spelled it out in like simpler terms for younger readers, I guess. Alright, so in Japanese, I'm going to say all of this line here. Go shinpai mesaru na. O ya onna kodomo wa anzen na tokoro ni hinan shite iru. So the king and the women and children, they've all been evacuated to a safe location, to safety. So Yang says in Super NES, the king has already taken refuge with the women and children. Okay. What if, like, the part that he's in safety, like he's in a safe place now, is literally what's saying? He's in a safe place, he's in safety. Alright, J2E. Oh yeah, the don't worry part is missing in Super NES. I would have liked that. I'll take one off on Super NES. J2E includes don't worry. The king has evacuated with the people to a safe area. The people, it's very clearly in Japanese, onna kodomo, women and children, is how onna kodomo is translated. Even on this dictionary thing I have here, it says that. So evacuated with the people is different. So I'm gonna take off a point on that. Was that something different? Alright, then the naming way. The king has already taken refuge with the women and children. So the part about don't worry is missing. That sentence is missing the naming way, so we'll lose that. Alright, then we can continue. Yeah, it's interesting that Heika is seen as more understandable there. Alright, so Yang has one more line. Ware ga teki o hikitsuke, ... we will like lure the enemy. What do we call that in gaming? We would call that, sometimes it might be called kiting, hikitsuke, like just to lure or distract, maybe pull them away. Yeah, draw the enemies. Super NES says draw the enemies, and so ware ga is like, I'm saying this is the thing that we're gonna do now. We're gonna lure the enemies away. We're gonna do that. We are. And the Super NES says just draw the enemies and ... I would have liked the ware ga. So basically saying the king and the women and the children, they're doing this. In the meantime, we are doing this. That contrast, I would have liked that in Super NES. The J2E says we have to worry about these monsters. No, because we're purposely luring them away. We're not worrying about having to deal with them. So Yang is proposing his plan of luring them away. And the old patch used to say we've got to take care of the enemy. Okay, naming way. Did I already mark off J2E on there? I'm gonna do it again, just in case. I don't want to miss that one. That was kind of important. All right, naming way. We'll draw the enemy away. ... And that's the closest that I've seen out of these. We'll draw the enemy away. ... I would have. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. Actually, we'll give naming way a point on that. All right. But more monsters have bust through into this close, like further in chamber. Okay, so what was happening is Yang was saying a sentence, and then he didn't get to finish it. It's like we'll lure the enemy and ... That and was in there. He got interrupted by a monster rushing in. What he was going to say is we're going to lure the enemy away and then like strike them down or take them out. Something tataku is what he said. He shouts, which is to strike, to clap, to dust, to beat, to play drums, to abuse, to flame on the internet, to insult, to use up money. Tataku, but it's just like to hit something. So he's like had a sentence that is across these two lines, and it's not as clear in the translations. So Super NES says smash 'em. That doesn't seem in his character. I'll allow it though. This seems off character. J2E says kill 'em all. Also with apostrophe EM. No, okay, so they're all going with M, like dash or apostrophe EM. I'm gonna take off a point on all that because he was using ware ga just before. Maybe even kind of formal still. I guess that's not formality, it's just maybe the way he talks. Alright. Smash 'em, kill 'em all, ... and crush 'em. That ... is really good on the naming way because it's showing that it connects to the previous line. And for that, I will give naming way a point here. Alright, we're back into battle. Now we're back fighting captains and navy guys. We'll take them out. Charge. Yeah, kill 'em all doesn't sound like something Yang would say so much. Alright, we're just doing some fights. I'm just kind of mindlessly pressing the attack button because there's not too much to do here. Oh, I'm gonna need to heal Edward here. Alright, we killed the navies. If I'm lucky, I can get this potion in. Okay, Edward got a potion in. The captain is gonna run away in a second. Maybe I can kill him. Sometimes you can kill him in time. Yeah, he's retreating. Ted die. Alright, battle is complete. I really like how in this cutscene, which is also just crazy that this exists right after Final Fantasy I in North America, this whole scene, because it's constant music, you can kind of feel this continuity of being worn down and just big long battles is going the whole time. It's so nice. There's a long consistency to it all. Oh, I think Poe has arrived. Alright, so we're back outside in the overworld. Gilbert steps back. He's getting scared now. And he shouts, "Koko wa mou dame da." This place is like no good anymore. It's kind of how that flows. And then Yang goes, "Kuso," and that is like a kuso. Like you could probably say damn, bullshit, damn, feces, excrement, that kind of stuff. Like he's really like not happy now. And it would be okay to have like kuso could be translated so many different ways. However you want to convey it to fit his character is up to the translator. At that point, I think you might technically be re-inflating, thus you become a localizer. Alright, so in Super NES, this becomes, "We can't hold here any longer." No, he lost some of his courage. He's like, "Oh, this is no good, we gotta..." He's becoming a little timid. "Mou dame da, koko wa mou dame da." I'll allow it here. But Yang's line is missing entirely, and I guess if it was like technically it could be seen as a swear word, it would have been removed anyway. But I'm gonna take off a point of Super NES. J2E. "It's hopeless here," and then Yang yells "damn it" with DAMNIT. The old J2E had DAMMIT. Hey Paul, oh, I like that shirt.
Yanners.
Oh. Is she gonna be in the chat? Okay. Personally, I like DAMMIT for things, but sometimes doing it with the N is okay. Yeah, it looks so weird spelled like this right here. Maybe it's the font. All right. Yeah, he's like become a little spooked in Japanese. "It's hopeless here" is real good. The J2E has a good vibe here. Like, "We can't hold here any longer" feels like what something Yang might have said instead. Alright, so the naming way. Edward says, "We can't hold here any longer," which is straight from Super NES. But then Yang goes "humph." The "humph" doesn't feel as strong as I would have liked it, but at least he has something right. I'll go with it. Okay, so everyone's like literally backing up, like walking backwards to get out of this room. But when they're backing up, now all they have left is the throne room. The monsters are going to get into the throne room. Alright. So we're in the throne room. Edward, Cecil, and Yang, along with one guard. Alright, so Yang now shouts, "Kagi o kaketa, kaketa. Koku de fusega neba. Koku de fusega." Okay. Whenever it does the neba forms, that's always so tricky for me. I don't know why. My tongue can't get there. Koko de fusega neba. So that means in Japanese, I locked it, or we locked it. We must hold them off here, something like that. We must block the way here. He says it in kind of a fancier way, and that's where I was getting a little mixed up there with my pronunciation. Like a kind of a warrior way. Okay, so the easy type, it adds a space after kagi o space kaketa. Yeah, okay, yeah, it looks like he was saying it in like a strange command form, which looks like the past tense sometimes. So he's saying lock the door, or have the door locked, kind of. Alright. So in Super NES, lock the door. We must at least hold this ground. I like that. I really like that. I'm gonna give Super NES a point on that. No, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just he's saying I've locked the door. Okay. I'm gonna say that he says I've locked the door. We must hold them off here. So however that goes, that's fine. Super NES, I'll take off that extra point that I gave, but... Alright, J2E says the door is locked. Well, it's more... here it goes passive. I would have said active. And then J2E continues, we've got to hold them here. And then, yeah. Alright. Naming Way says, I locked the door. Okay, so Naming Way is going to consolidate like every line, in this text box. So I'll just read this whole thing. Kagi o kaketa, koko de fusei ga neba. And that's Yang. Cecil goes, Kuristaru wa? And then exclamation, or question exclamation. Then Yang says, kono ue. And that means, someone locked the door. I don't know. I locked the door. We must hold them off here. And then Cecil says, what of the crystal? What about the crystal? Where is the crystal? And then Yang says, up above here. Super NES. Cecil says, where's the crystal? He should be saying that more emphatically, but then Yang says, upstairs. Upstairs is good for kono ue, yeah. Alright, so that's in there. And then in J2E, Cecil shouts, where's the crystal? And Yang replies, in the room beyond here. I think this is probably just my fault here. Maybe there's... He used to say, in the floor above, on the floor above. That probably sounded weird, so someone edited that. So beyond here isn't the same as kono ue, but it's okay. Then Yang says in Naming Way, I locked the door. The crystal is upstairs, so we must stop them here. So Cecil's line is removed from this. I'm gonna take off the point. Alright. The guard now walks to the door. The guard that was accompanying us walks to the door, and then a door sound happens. And then a text box appears, and it says Kagi o akita. That means unlocked it, or undid the lock. Opened, just like the lock has been undone. Again, Kagi can mean lock or key, so sometimes it gets kind of funny to phrase it. That became in Super NES just opened. J2E unlocked, period. There's surprise, this is, we're just, yeah, I gotta do something. Okay, I had to close the door for some sounds outside. Okay, so the fact that we're about to be betrayed, or that we are now betrayed, warrants this exclamation mark, but J2E has dropped it, and I really would have liked that. That's like a shock. I will want that shock, so J2E loses a point. And it used to say, unlocked the door exclamation, so that would have been an improvement. They kind of went backwards on that. Unlocked exclamation in Naming Way. Unlocked is good. Unlocked the door would have been good too. It doesn't matter. Alright, let's continue. Yang steps forward and says, Nani o suru? And that means what are you doing? That just became, in Super NES that became what? What are you doing? So that one sentence became two like this. And this feels, maybe it had some editing at some point in comparison to other lines that we've seen that have no editing. Yang, so he has a surprised, upset feeling in Japanese. In J2E, that became, what the hell are you doing? Question mark, exclamation. It's worth it. That, what the hell is fine. It used to say, what are you doing? He has strong displeasure, even just in that simple Nani o suru exclamation. Coming out of Yang, that's a big deal. And then, in Naming Way, that became, Yang says, what are you doing? And water is the contraction with the apostrophe in there. What are you doing? Question mark. And his shock is weird, is missing, and that contraction just feels strange. Nani o suru is very much not a contraction. So, I would have liked that. Also, okay, so Gilbert now responds, Ningen ja ... nai. A human he is ... not. It's kind of interesting that the word not and nothing and stuff like that and no they have this strange, very distant parallel with words like nai in like the negative forms in Japanese too. All right, so he's saying he's not human, but he's coming to the realization halfway through his sentence there. Gilbert's line is just completely missing in Super NES, so I'll take a point off there. J2E, he's not human. Okay, it changed a little bit in the old patch, but it's okay. And then that line from Gilbert Edward is missing in Nameway, so I'll point off on there. Oops. Alright, that monk, that guard, turned into a monster and is now attacking us. It's a gargoyle monster. We've met gargoyles before. This will be pretty easy. Oh, we confused it. But Cecil hits it, and so it's not confused anymore. Yang bashes it, and it dies. Okay. Battle is complete. Alright. More monsters rush into the throne room and attack our party. Now it's just us three. All the other guards seem to be gone. And it's the Lacey Domo Voice Sahagin group again. I don't know how Baron has hired these monsters. What is the pay rate? I hope they're getting time and a half. I guess Golbez can control monsters. I don't really understand. Yeah, that gargoyle was somehow able to confuse us all. Okay, we defeated those monsters. Yeah, where do those monsters, when you kill them, you get gil? Where do you think they get that gil? They work for Baron and stuff. Then most of the time we just never spend it on clothes. Alright, so we've defeated a horde of monsters so far, and Yang shouts now in Japanese, Kiri ga nai, Yama en, Kristaru made sagaro. And that means there's no end to them. We have no choice. Let us fall back to the crystal room, is how that all goes. Three sentences, 3 exclamations. His speaking style is again warrior-like. He would like an experienced warrior, maybe from older times, saying stuff like Yamuo En. It's kind of a fancy phrase. I think that's an N2 or N1 phrase if you study JLPT. Okay, that becomes Super NES. That becomes let's retreat to the crystal room. So that's all one sentence. He's saying the part about there's no end to them and we have no choice. Those are 2 important motivations for the scene. So I'm going to take off 2 for Super NES here. Alright, J2E. We're trapped. Retreat to the crystal room. The point that there's no end to them is missing, and that there's no choice. There's only one thing left to do. I would have liked those in there, so J2E loses some points. Alright, in naming way. Retreat to the crystal room. Alright, so those 2 sentences are missing in naming way, so we'll mark off on that. Alright, so after I press this, we're going to start rushing our way to the upstairs room. We're in the throne room, and there's only 1 room left, and that's where the crystal is. And then after I press this, we're going to try to run, but then Edward's going to fall and trip. Okay, monsters are chasing us, Edward falls and trips. The monsters have reached him, and Gilbert shouts, "Ooh-ah!" And again, this is one of those lines by Gilbert that is repeated so often in Japanese that it's sort of a joke quote sometimes. It's not something heavily quoted ever, but people, when they think of Gilbert, this might be a line. A big old fan like me from back in the day, they probably would be able to quote this line off the top of their head. "Ooh-ah!" It is in Japanese, and again, this is the exact same data, the 1s and 0s. It's pulling the same 0s and 1s as all the other times that he said "ooh-ah." It's just the same line repeated. Kind of like how palette swapped enemies happen. Alright, so I'll take off a point here because I would have liked "ooh-ah" or "og." He's not saying an actual word. So I'm going to take off a point on Super NES here. Cecil and Yang turn around and see Gilbert lying on the ground with monsters surrounding him. And Cecil shouts, "Gilbert!" And that became Edward, Gilbert, Edward in the different versions. And now we have rushed to his aid. And again, we're fighting captains and Baron Navy guys. We're just doing our fights. I could try to take out this captain. Unless Yang kills him. Okay, yeah, let's take out this captain. Just to show that it's doable. Alright, kill this. We're gonna kill this captain, but he's called a general and other things. I'm gonna do a build up power. See how that does. Like, what are those 2 white pixels on Yang's face when he does this? I don't understand what I'm looking at. And this looks like really long buck teeth to me. I mean, he has his palms up, but I don't know what he's doing there. Alright, we're still trying to kill this captain. I forgot to mention something that one of those Leshy enemies that we've been fighting, they have like a really, really high magic power stat, like really strong, like even stronger than Rubicante. But I don't think it ever does magic, so it doesn't matter. Also, the Sahagin that Edward fought and killed, because it was a scripted battle, it had like a crazy level of HP. It was like, what is it? Let me see, I wrote it down. 4,500, or wait, 45,672 HP. And it's such a unique number that I wonder if it has to do with Japan's like number system, where they can like put words into numbers. But I don't know what it would be. I tried to look it up, but it brought up a bunch of nonsense astrology stuff. Alright, Yang has leveled up on his home court advantage. Alright, so we've saved Edward. He's gotten back up, and the party is now rushing into the crystal room. This is the final room, and there's nowhere else left to go. There is just a crystal in here, and this is what we're trying to prevent Baron, the Kingdom of Baron, from acquiring. More specifically, we don't want Golbez to take over, or to take it. He's the guy who's like taken over control of the Red Wings. The corrupt King of Baron has put him in charge, so Baron is just like bombing everything everywhere now, and rushing, taking things, stealing everything. Alright. So Yang, Cecil, and Edward set up positions in front of the crystal so that no one can acquire it. Defensive positions. The battle music plays, but then suddenly a familiar sprite appears. It's Kain. He says in Japanese, in like a very like familiar way, like not no politeness or anything. Hisashiburi dana. It's been a while, hasn't it? Kind of. And then in Super NES that becomes, it's been a while, Cecil. Well, first the Cecil isn't in the text. That's fine. A while is one word in the Super NES version. I'm pretty sure that this should be 2, technically. I don't know. Maybe that's like a different, like British or Australian English might do it in 1. I'm not sure. All right. J2E. It's been a while. ... The naming way. It's been a while, Cecil. So J2E does kind of keep it a little closer. All right. So Cecil, upon seeing Kain, shouts, "Kain, buji data no ka?" And that means, Kain, you're all right. You're all right. You're alive. You're safe. With the intention, or with the implication that he thought he might have been dead all along. So he's saying, "Oh, you've been safe all along. You've been alive all along. You're all right." Like, yeah, we could just say, you're alive. So in Super NES, it becomes Kain, you're alive. That's like really close to the feeling. That's pretty good. J2E, Kain, you're alive. That's good. Naming way, Kain, you're alive. Okay, that's good. And J2E just had some formatting changes. We can see how a while is spelled differently in J2E. It's separated as two words. Meanwhile, naming way seems to pull from Super NES and has a while as one. Like, it seems like it's literally the exact same text as the Super NES in naming way. Alright, let's continue. Cecil walks forward. He's leaving his defensive position, walks up to Kain. And Kain says, ah. And that's the same, it's a confirmation sound, like yeah or yes. It's casual in feeling. So that's why in Super NES it says yeah. J2E, yeah, I guess I am, ... I feel like this Kain in this scene is supposed to not be super talkative, like more talkative than necessary. So yeah, I guess I am ... isn't something I would have liked. That was added into the modern J2E patch, so it used to be a little closer. I'll take off a point on there just because I would have liked it to be a little better there. Then Kain does not say yes or yeah or anything. He does. His line here is missing in naming way, so we'll take off a point. Then Cecil says "Isho ni tatakatte kure," so fight alongside us or fight with us. The phrasing of when you say fight with us, it becomes ambiguous. Does it mean like you attack us, or does it mean that you fight alongside us? So the "isho ni," sometimes it's easier to say with. Just always go to with for that. But here, to take out the ambiguity, it would be good to say fight alongside us. Fight, yeah, because you can fight with people, and it could mean either you're attacking them or you're fighting alongside them. So might as well just say fight alongside. All right. Of course, like for the end user, they probably won't notice or care. But as a translator, you gotta care. You gotta try to plug those ambiguity holes, because there's always a probability that those loopholes might steer people the wrong way. Okay, so Cecil says fight with us in Super NES. J2E, let's fight together. That one's a little better than with us, just the ambiguity wise. Naming way, you'll fight then? No, the tone on this one is wrong. It's very much like "isho ni" is like an important phrase. It's like one of the most important phrases here. So there's a question in here: is J2E the most respected one in the community? Actually, well, so if you look at legendsoflocalization.com, if you go to there, I have a page set up with a bunch of articles, but I've been documenting these Final Fantasy IV translations for about 15 years, and we discovered that the J2E translation is actually full of additions and characterization changes and pop culture reference insertions and sex jokes, and a lot of times it will literally just copy and paste from the Super NES. So it's actually not that well regarded these days, but as we're seeing, it retains a lot more of the text than the Super NES in naming way. And that's because they had technical work done and they could keep all of the text lines in there, even though they added new text. So my scoring system is kind of wonky here. It might give you the wrong impression. So just take these as like, don't take them as too much of anything. It's kind of for my purposes, because my brain dies and I forget who's ahead and stuff. All right. Yeah, so I marked off naming way there. So now Kain says, "Muron sono tsumori da." Okay, so remember how I was saying that there's an ambiguity in that phrase, like fight with us, fight alongside us, fight together with us? They all can have different meanings. So he's using that here, and he's saying, of course I intend to. Surely is how that became a Super NES. I intend to. In J2E, that's good. And then naming way, it says indeed, which is in response to the altered question, or the altered Cecil line, but I'll stick with it. So he's saying like, yeah, I'll fight with you, or I'll fight with you. Okay, yeah, so you want the ambiguity in this one. Sometimes you want ambiguity in this, because he's about to say, of course I intend to fight with you, but Cecil, okay, in Japanese he goes, Daga seshiru tatakau no wa omae to da. And it says, but Cecil, the one I'm fighting, the one that I fight, will be you. So the timing is, will be you at the end here. And there's like it's a surprise revelation. Man, this game had like already so much stuff going on compared to that one. You're already having like betrayals and stuff. This is crazy that the story was like getting like this just straight off of one. All right. So Supernia says, surely, but against you, Cecil. J2E, I intend to, but I will be fighting you, Cecil. Naming way. Indeed, but Cecil, ... My fight is with you. So that's how they're all kind of coming at it from different angles. They're all okay in their own ways. All right. And then Cecil goes, Kain! ! Like he's shocked at this. I think there's gonna be like a sound or a musical tone in a second. That became Kain. Kain in Suit and J2E, and Kain in Naming Way. Alright. And then now Kain says, Ikiuchi da seshiru. So it's one-on-one. It's like a duel. One-on-one duel, Cecil. How does this thing translate, Ikiuchi? Personal combat, one-to-one fight. I'm gonna turn on the light. Okay. Single combat, Cecil, says Supernius. That's good. I like that phrasing. Man-to-man combat, Cecil, J2E. Let's duel, Cecil. I don't like this let's in here. The nuance isn't really the let's in here. He's just stating this is going to be this way now. It's not an invitation, really. Alright. And then Cecil shouts in response, Yamero! That means stop it, or don't, or no. Literally, like it's the command form for stop. Stop doing something. And that becomes no in Supernius. That just became Kain? ? And J2E. That's pretty weird. I'm gonna take that out. Yeah, Cecil's like extra surprise, or like his plea to stop this, like his strong plea to stop this is not in here. So let me double check, but yeah. Okay, Naming Way is gonna lose a point on that one. One more. And then Kain goes, Yukuzo. So like kind of like have at you is how we might translate that. Or literally it means like let's go. But because it's stylized a little bit with Yuku instead of Iku, and just the characterization, have at you would be good, something like that. Like, or on guard. Well, on guard would be weird here, but then Kain says, oh, so in Supernius, well, that's missing. Okay, so like that's missing in Supernius. I'll take a point off. J2E has the line here, but says, kill me if you can. And no, I don't like that. Draw your sword. I guess that works, but more like I'm let's go kind of feeling. Now we're gonna fight. Just semi-scripted battle. Okay. Uh-oh. I was distracted by outside sounds, so I missed a line there. But I think he was just saying, like, why Kain? Or something like that, Cecil was. So it's Cecil and Kain are now fighting in the crystal room. And it's just them. And there's a bunch of back and forth discussion that's going to happen, so I have to pause it a bit. So Cecil was just now trying to plead with Kain again. Kain is just listed in the battle menu as Yu Kishi, which is like a dragon knight. It's not even his name. It's just his class. That might give a hint to what's going on. Then this in response to Cecil's plea, Kain shouts "Mondo muyo," and that's like no more chit chat kind of feeling. Mondo muyo. Well, I wish that was like all in one. That would have been nice. Let me see if I can get it. Mondo muyo. Yeah, so enough talk kind of feeling. Super NES that became Kain just goes ... So Super NES is gonna miss a point on that. J2E, I'm not here to talk. I don't like the way this lands. This delivery doesn't land in the same way as I would have liked. But the part of like enough talk is conveyed enough, so I'm okay. However, naming way just goes ... It even takes more dots away from the Super NES. That's not conveyed, so it's gonna lose points. Like, enough talk is what he's saying now. And he jumps. And he does his jump. Oh, it's neat seeing the sprite pause like this. I never really look at it. That's cool. So Kain's special ability is the jump ability, and he's now using it on his like best friend Cecil. Cecil is confused. Cecil takes a lot of damage. And then Cecil is now responding, "Ittai nani ga attanda?" So like, what in the world happened? Exclamation question mark. Like, what happened to you? Just there's an emphasis on the question. So like, just what happened to you, or like, what the heck happened to you? You could, if you wanted to say, what the hell happened, kind of idea. But he's like really shocked and surprised and possibly hurt. But in Super NES, that just becomes what's wrong question mark. That feels weird. Like the whole characterization here. J2E, what's gotten into you? And that used to be something else. What's got into you? It became what's gotten into you. All right, I'll accept that. Naming way says, what happened? Question mark exclamation. I would have liked more than just that. But I'll be okay with it. Like these text boxes are so rough to put text into them. They're so tiny. I don't fault anyone. All right. So Cecil just asked like, what's happened to you? And then Kain replies coldly, "Urusai, damare," like shut up, be silent, or something like that. In Super NES, that becomes Kain says ... ha, which is completely wrong. Super NES is gone. All right, J2E is just ... It's gonna lose a point. What were they thinking there? There's not even like a previous line there. And then the naming way, Kain goes ... humph. And then that's not what's being said either. So they're all losing points on this right now. I'm not attacking them just because I don't really want to. I can do defend. Too late. Alright, so Kain has attacked Cecil again, and Cecil is now like in critical status, like he's about to die soon. Kain shouts, "Seshiru, todome da," and that means Cecil, this is the finishing blow. This is to finish you off. That's how that goes. Kain in Super NES says, "Got you." Like he's saying, I'm gonna finish you off. I'm gonna kill you now, kind of feeling. Todome is to put like the finishing blow. Yeah, finishing blow or clincher. To put an end to something. Okay, J2E. This becomes Cecil ... This is the end, and that conveys it maybe. He used to say, "Cecil, it's over." No, he's saying that he's gonna finish him off now, like put the finishing blow, because he's in critical damage now. This becomes goodbye Cecil, period, in naming way. But you can see he's like shouting, and there's a weird extra little tsu in there. I don't think that's good, so I'll take that point off. Alright, the final attack is about to happen. He's technically now just killed Cecil. Cecil would be in negative HP now. Normally this would be game over, and this comes the question, or this might be like one of the few times, or the first times I encountered the scripted death in a battle is not a game over situation. And I think to this day, there's a lot of times when you never know, is this scripted or not? Some battles are just tough in games these days. And sometimes it will seem impossible, but if you know any examples of that, let me know in comments of like personal experiences of you losing the scripted battle that you thought was supposed to be lost on purpose. All right, so we're fading out of the battle. Back in the crystal room, Cecil has just fallen to the ground, and Kain looks down at him. Cecil shouts, "Masaka omae mo Golbez ni?" And that means, you don't mean you've also been blank? You've also been verbed by Golbez? I guess the verb we have to fill in on our own because of how Japanese works. But he's basically saying, like, I didn't expect you to also be controlled by Golbez, or I didn't expect you to also be working for Golbez. The Masaka is like, this can't be, or how can this be? That's the vibe. Then Super NES that became, you honor Golbez's ... So there's like even though it's not in here, in the Japanese, there's an implied question mark that we would probably have put in translation here. And then he's also emphasizing it with the exclamation. I would have liked both of those maybe in the Super NES here. Like, he's put it together and he's shocked. And it makes sense that he's shocked because he's just been almost murdered by his friend. You are under Golbez's ... in Super NES. J2E, you're ... under Golbez's control? Why? I guess that Y is filling in for the Masaka there. It's more like, how can this be? I guess that works. You're under Golbez's control? Alright, so I'm okay with the J2Es here. And the naming way this became, you're one of Golbez's ... and that doesn't seem right to me. I don't know where this sentence is gonna go in English, but the also, yeah, this omae mo Golbeza, all these are missing the also-ness of it, or the two-ness. You too are under Golbez's. You're also under Golbez's control. You're also one of Golbez's. So he thought, like, he knew that, like, these monsters and other people are under the control of Golbez, but he never imagined that it could happen to Kain, and that's where the Masaka happens in here. Even though those things are missing, I'm gonna say it's okay. I'm gonna give a pass here. I'm gonna be lenient. Okay, so Kain responds, Ima raku ni shite yaro. So, now I will put you out of your misery! Exclamation. Super NES, I'll put you out of your misery, period. That's okay. I would have liked the word now to be included. Like, after everything he's done, now he's concluding his, whatever he's doing, his routine. Alright. J2E, this becomes wake up, ... time to die, ... And that doesn't feel right at all. Like, he's putting us out of his misery, and he's doing it with a yaru, which is hard to explain off the top of my head. Alright, I want to take that off of J2E. I don't think that's good. Then the naming way it becomes, I'll put you out of your misery. Okay. I would have liked the emphasis, and now, but we'll skip it. And then Yang is about to step in and shout out loud, "So wa sasen!" exclamation. And that literally means I won't allow that, or I won't allow you to do that. I won't allow. And sometimes we can phrase that in English as like, "Oh no, you don't," but that wouldn't fit Yang here. Basically, he's saying that he's going to stop Kain. Like, you think you can take out Cecil? Nope, I'm not going to let you. So he says, you can't. Just you can't in Super NES, and that misses what's being said. J2E says, you'll have to come through me first, and that's kind of what's being said. Although it's a little, it doesn't really fit the warrior monk feeling I get. The Japanese has that feeling, but the J2E feels a little different. And then the naming way, that just became stop, and that's not what I would have been doing there, so let's go. Yang walks up to Kain, and it looks like they're face to face, and then another voice comes out, an unstated voice goes Yamete, and the way it's phrased suggests that it is probably female, probably going to be youthful, and the formatting that we see here, we see a dash, little tsu, and an exclamation. So if you can just kind of imagine, like it's a long vowel mark used in an unusual way because it's not with hiragana. It's not with katakana there. So there's a real the delivery is happening here. I can hear it like in Japanese, but all those like little Japanese details like the gender and the youthfulness, you get that missing, and just in translation, just because how translation works, and there was no real attempts to reinflate, which is fine. So this becomes no, all caps N-O, exclamation, and super NES. But actually what it's saying is like stop it or don't. But no is fine too. I would have said like stop, no, stop, something like that. J2E goes with no, stop. Because this is an unstated speaker, the J2E adds some quote marks. But SNES and the naming way don't. It could cause some confusion in the flow, but it's okay. J2E just used to say stop in a really strange way, like dash dash stop dash dash exclamation. I don't know what that's about. So it's just no, stop, no. All right, I'll just go through that now. So Rosa and Rydia now pop up. They're in the throne room now. And how many lines of text are in this game? The last time I checked it, it's not counting like battle and all that. There's about 1,800. All right, so then now Kain turns around at the sound of that voice and identifies the owner of the voice by saying Rosa, which means Rosa. And it's just exclamation, like he's shocked that he's here, like it's a surprise. Super NES says Rosa, J2E ... Rosa ... question. I would have liked that to be closer to the Japanese there. It looks like it might have. Yeah, it used to be closer in the older patch. Maybe someone has edited this up who wasn't looking at the translation after the case. Naming way became Rosa, like exclamation, so that's good. Then Rosa says, Kain, anata made, exclamation. And it kind of means like, Kain, not you too. Kain, you too? Something like that. Like, even you? Kain, even you? Super NES. Kain, why you? Super NES gets that one. She's putting it together that he is also being controlled or working with the bad guys now. And J2E, Kain, no. That used to be Kain, not you too. So that's a downgrade. I'm gonna mark off on that downgrade. Like, it's weird that they had a decent translation to begin with. Then they kind of shot themselves in the foot sometimes. And naming way, Kain, why? I could almost see that working, but it looks like it's just doing the Super NES a little bit. I'll take off a point there. All right. So as we've already kind of seen back in Misc, there's a love triangle between Rosa, Cecil, and Kain, and the surprise appearance of Rosa is brought about this love triangle, so that means that Kain is going to get upset and confused in a second. So Kain says in Japanese, exclamation, oreo ... miru na, exclamation. So you can see that he's like struggling in some way. Maybe there's some pain happening. I don't know if that's like mental pain from like his brainwashing, like kind of wearing off, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe he's just like shocked and taken aback that Rosa's suddenly here, seeing him do the stuff that is bad for her to see. It's hard to say, but I feel like there's some brainwashingness in here. So he's like going, don't look at me. And he uses ore in comparison to Shiso's Boku. And the ore is like a stronger masculine vibe. Right. So his like pain struggle or whatever he's doing with the is missing in the Super NES. So that little bit of whatever, however you want to interpret that, that's missing. The Super NES will lose a point here. Then he says, don't look at me. Okay. Although I would have liked more hesitation in here because, you know, he's struggling with something. Whatever he's struggling with is missing in the Super NES. J2E. Erg ... og ... exclamation. So he's got his like pain, whatever's going on. Then don't ... look at me. So it's trying to convey everything that's happening. Okay, naming way. ... don't look at me. I would have liked, because it looks like he's struggling or something up there. Take off a point there. Kain looks down like he's ashamed or something's happening to him. I don't know. Like he's hesitating. So a new voice has appeared. The speaker is unstated, but the tone feels a little different. In Japanese, Nani o chimayotteiru no da, Kain. And this is like a fancy phrase. Pretty common in like Japanese villains to say chimayo, to lose one's mind, to lose oneself. Literally it means like blood wanders astray, blood gets lost. That's what happens when you've like kind of lost your mind, lost your control of yourself. Yeah, chimayo. So he's using a kind of a fancy phrase here. They didn't do an easy type version, which is neat. And just the entire delivery is interesting. And like this is the first line that we're going to hear from Golbez is the one speaking, spoilers. And this is the first line. It's like a nice introduction in the speaking style. Super NES, why so upset, Kain? Question mark. It's more like, what are you like hesitating about? Like what's like, yeah, something, what's the hold up? What's like the mental hold up is kind of the idea. Why so upset, Kain? What's troubling you, Kain? That doesn't sound as cool as the original Japanese does. And it's more like a rhetoric question. It's like, how can this be troubling you? I don't know. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, so it's been about 2 hours since I've been streaming. No wonder if my brain feels a little tired right now. What's troubling you, Kain? Then J2E. And then the naming way is, why do you hesitate, Kain? I think other Japanese speakers will understand what I'm trying to get at here, but it's so hard to convey it in words that the feeling of this line is pretty cool. But this and this are kind of weak. Why do you hesitate, Kain? Is a little closer, but also I don't know. All right, so we'll just say it's all right. All right, a new sprite that we've never seen before, in like a dark blue outfit with some weird armor and a weird cape, has arrived. This is Golbez. Gilbert shouts, "Golbeza!" And as we saw, that Golbez's name in Japanese is Golbeza. That za in there kind of gets dropped. I think it's partially because technically he at some point has data in the battle data, and the names can only be like 6 letters long, I think. So Golbez is 6 letters. Any further and it might be weird. It might cause technical problems. Also, just Golbeza, it does feel weaker or stranger than just Golbez. Alright, also the name Golbez, I kind of discuss it on the site, but there's a strong belief that it comes from some other language's word for venomous insect. And like 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, when I was looking through like 100 different language dictionaries while doing my Choctaw studies, I think I came across it. I don't think I needed to write it down because that's not a word I was studying at the time. I did indeed encounter the word for Kulex though, and Kulex is the Super Mario RPG boss, Final Fantasy themed one, and he too also has like some kind of weird theme, like a bug theme. I forget what it is, and that is one that I looked at. I'll have to look at that when we get. Well, I guess we're not going to get to that, but maybe I'll do it someday. All right, so there's a name maybe behind Golbez's name. Like there's a meaning behind his name maybe in Japanese, but players in Japan, they never would have known that kind of stuff. So even though there's that meaning in there, it was probably lost on everyone. All right, so he shouts Golbez, Golbez, Golbez in all three versions. That's okay. And then Cecil now says Kisama ga Golbeza ... exclamation. So he has just switched rudeness, like politeness levels, and goes all the way to Kisama. Like he is now like super pissed. Cecil, like the nice Boku guy, is now saying Kisama, and is really rude, like some of the rudest that you can get. And he's saying your Golbeza ... exclamation. Super NES becomes you are Golbez ... exclamation. Remember, he's like on the way of, he's about to die. So the ... might suggest that he has weakness or instability of some sort. I don't know. So I would say like, so your Golbez is an easy way to do that in English maybe. J2E goes your Golbez ... exclamation. And then naming my so you ... or Golbez. He's not in his right mind now with that Kisama and the ... and the exclamation. I would have liked more of that, like just the feeling from the Japanese to have been here. It's kind of weaker here. From this, you wouldn't know that he's struggling, maybe. Alright, so Golbez will now respond, and he goes, Omae ga seshiru ka. So you are Cecil, huh? So you were Cecil. Super NES says, and you are Cecil, period. So Cecil says, you are Golbez, and Golbez says, and you are Cecil. It sounds like a kindergarteners talking to each other. Alright, I'll allow it. Alright, so then J2E. So you're Cecil ... That's fine. Just a period would have been good, because there's no reason for ... here. Golbez, in the naming way, seems to pull from the Super NES and says, and you are Cecil, period. Okay, I'm just gonna let this all pass. Alright. So it looks like he's about to break this window, this text window. So let me first start by saying, Ayeta bakari de zannen da ga, kore ga watashi no aisatsu da. In Japanese, that means something like, it's unfortunate that we've just been able to meet, but this is my greeting. This is my greeting! Exclamation. So I'll bring that in here. Super NES, this became glad to see you ... and take my greeting! Exclamation. His character is now kind of tilted in Super NES. I'm not happy with his characterization here, and this is an important scene. You can just listen to that music. That music is speaking volumes. Okay. This becomes in J2E. So you are Cecil ... Perfect setting for introductions, don't you think? Well, perfect for me, at least. You're sprawled on the ground, and I'm about to take the crystal. So, as you can probably guess, a lot was just added. J2E just added a lot. And it looks like this was all in the original patch too. So someone was goofing around in here. Okay. This probably makes a lot of sense, but I'm not an actor, right? And most likely you're not an actor. And if you had to do like someone said, do the sentimental scene, just improv the sentimental scene with acting, you'll probably struggle with that. But if you were asked, hey, do the voice acting for the scene where this guy is really pissed, most likely you'd be able to do the really pissed stuff a lot easier, right? And so in like Japanese to English translations and like script edits that happen and dub edits that happen, you'll find that it's really easy for non-translators to overemphasize like the evilness of things or the meanness of things or the anger. Like anger is an easy emotion for pretty much all of us to convey for whatever reason, maybe. And this phenomenon is why I think a lot of the J2E text and I guess just like a lot of fan translations for games in general, they will really go over the top with this, with the villain text. They love to I don't know, wallow or swim, just play around with the evil, mean guy text. So that's why you'll see like a lot of we're going to see so many text changes with Golbez. Pretty much anytime Golbez talks, I think we're going to see J2E insert things. And I got this feeling, I think when we were doing the Final Fantasy VI translation comparison back in 2018, I think we saw like Kefka get a lot of punch-ups. All right. Hopefully that all makes sense. Okay, so I now have to grade this. So you're Cecil, is what he's saying. We just met, but this is my greeting. This is my greeting. So your Cecil is fine. Perfect setting for introductions, don't you think? Okay, so I'm going to take the point off on that because that's an addition. Well, perfect for me at least. That's another addition. You're sprawled on the ground, and I'm about to take the crystal. Another phenomenon that I think might overlap with that is in entertainment, people really love characters that are just like so powerful that they become like so confident that everything else is just weak. Maybe they're living like a power fantasy secretly, just while living inside the text, typing out the text. In the same way that like an actor will get into a character, I think like just the act of typing will get translators, editors also into mindsets, and that might just allow that to go crazy if like you're untrained and stuff. All right. The part about the greeting, no, yeah. So okay, so he also has a mistake with his greeting. The greeting he's gonna give us is a big electrical zap. Yeah, this is what I would call chewing the scene. I need to take a break soon. My butt hurts. I talk so much my butt hurts. Okay. So we looked at that and we saw how this was all here originally in the original J2E patch. Okay, so what does naming way have to say for all of this? So we finally meet. I have something for you. So he's saying like it's too bad that we've just finally met. Like he's like that Zannen Daga. I would have liked that nuance in there. I have something for you is pretty good for Kore ga watashi no aisatsu da. Also, he's like a badass, so he doesn't need to say things like ore. He's badass enough that he can just stay with standard watashi. It's kind of like you're so strong, you don't need to show that you're strong, kind of. Sometimes that'll happen. Maybe when he loses his hypnosis, because by the way, he's not actually evil, he just hypnotized himself. Spoilers. Maybe when he switches, that'll switch his pronoun. I wonder. We'll look in the future. Alright. Did I get everything there? Alright, so in response to like this is my it's too bad, but this is my greeting to you. This is how I say hi to you. Gilbert shouts, Seshiru. and then Yang goes saseru mono ka, so that means like siso, and then like as if we would allow you to, is how that would literally translate from Yang, as if we would allow you to. Another more colloquial way was like, oh no you don't, but that wouldn't really fit Yang here, so you can think of different options. Here we have Edward shouts Cecil and Yang shouts no in Super NES. Again, Yang is like showing his defiance. He's not shouting no, he's saying oh no you don't. So I'm gonna take off one of the Super NES here. J2E. Cecil is what Gilbert yells, and then Yang shouts over my dead body. That's a little more familiar, more commonplace than I would have expected from like a monk warrior, but it gets the job done, the overtones. Naming way. Cecil, no. So it's the same, for the same reason I'm gonna take off a point on naming way. Yeah, over my dead body isn't too bad. I just wouldn't expect it from him. Alright, I gotta pause it. Alright, so Yang now steps in the way and Kain steps out of the way. And now there's nothing blocking Golbez and Yang. So now Golbez shouts, or Mushikera ni yo wa nai. That means I have no business with insects. Mushikera, how does this translate? Mushikera, worms or insects? Yeah, so I have no business with insects. Kind of the implication is of you insects. And then we see in Super NES, this became just ha, capital H, capital A, exclamation. We're gonna see him repeat this a lot. Maybe not a lot, just we're gonna see this ha throughout the game. For some reason, the Super NES just has Golbez say ha for things, and that's wrong. J2E, that's the whole idea, period. And that is, again, I guess, chewing the scenery. That's not what he's saying. J2E used to say, I've got no business with weaklings like you. That would have been closer, yeah. Like insects or bugs or something like that would have been good. And then the naming way, that just becomes ha, H-A-H. Again, it seems to be pulling from Super NES for some reason. Alright. So what's going to happen is now Golbez is going to fire electric bolts straight forward and hit Yang, and probably Edward standing in the way. Let's see. Yeah, magic spell flies through. Edward and Yang are sent flying across the room, and now they possibly lie unconscious. Golbez walks forward. Kain, ... Asobi wa sono hen ni shite kristaru o te ni ireru no da. That means Kain, leave playtime to that, or like quit with playtime and obtain the crystal. It's like a command, and he does it with a period. So enough with the playtime, get the crystal. That's kind of what he's saying. That's so. Super NES, that's enough, period. Take the crystal, Kain. So like the whole playtime thing would have been nice to have on Super NES, because he knows, he's talking about, you know, he's commenting on the situation. He knows that Kain could have just wiped them out. Golbez could have just wiped them out. I'll take off a point there. Well, yeah, and then Kain responds with ha, and again this ha is like yes sir, sir, yes sir, something like that. Something that you would say like in a formal situation to your superior officer. Which this ha is automatically suggests that, you know, he's subservient to Golbez. For that to come through in the Super NES translation, they actually add in, they reinflate that with yes master, capital M. And that's I kind of like that. I'm gonna give Super NES a point here. There's some good reinflation here. J2E. Golbez says, Kain ... Stop standing around and get the crystal. No, I would have put playing around. Standing around is different. And then Kain responds with yes, master. So they probably either knew what ha meant or just saw the super NES and copied that. One of the two. But it's in there. Mei Minwei says, that's enough. Take the crystal. Just periods. Yeah. I would have liked more details in there. And Kain says, yes, sir. Again, they like to take out commas possibly. I'm not sure. And he says it with emphasis, like, sir, yes, sir, kind of feeling, not just, yes, sir. Yeah, so this could have been better, but I won't take off on that. Kain walks up to the crystal, but before he can get there, Rosa steps behind him and shouts, Yamete Kain, Yamete Kain. I'm switching my pronunciations there, Yamete Kain. So, stop, Kain, is how that sounds, or like, don't do it, Kain. And then that becomes no Kain in Super NES, stop Kain in J2E, no Kain in Mei Minwei. That's fine. Then Kain has his exclamation, like suddenly he's shocked out of whatever he was doing. Kain has his shocked in Super NES, J2E, and in Mei Minwei. So okay, that's good. We've seen previously that translators or these patches will take out stuff like that if it's not a full word, so they've left it in this one time. Cecil then adds Sahagin Rosa ... exclamation, so get back, Rosa. That like desperate cry to Rosa just becomes don't exclamation. So it doesn't point to Rosa. There isn't like the weakness or whatever, hesitation or something happening in there. I would have liked the Rosa mention. J2E, stay away, Rosa, double exclamation. So the punctuation is different, the delivery comes across different, but it's good enough. Mei Minwei, Rosa, don't. Okay, I like that one. That was good. He used to say get back, Rosa, but then it became stay away. It doesn't matter which either one is, I guess. Alright, next we got Golbez now says, Ho, sonna ni kono onna ga daiji ka. So he's making the sound of like impressedness in Japanese, which is often like ho. And so in English we could be like, sometimes I'll do like oho, like putting that o in front helps, like oho. Like he's come to the realization like, so this girl is that important to you, huh? That's what he's saying in Japanese there. He's like, oh, this girl's that important, huh? He's making the sound of impressionness, I don't know. Super NES. That becomes, is this girl so important to you? Question mark. He's making, the use of on for girl there is good, I like that. J2E says, I get it, ... this girl is dear to you. No, he's commenting on his realization. I don't like how that plays. How was it originally? It might have been better. Nope. Alright. Mei Minwei says, oh, you care for this one, do you? I would have liked the word girl in there because it's a little demeaning. But it has the O in there. I like that. Okay, it doesn't matter. Alright. So Golbez is going to continue. Naraba kono onna wa azukate iko. In that case, I will take custody of this girl, or I will, something like that. I will take ownership of her. But like the idea is like maybe it's a temporary taking her. Alright. So in that case, I will hold on to this girl, I guess you could say. I will hold on to this girl and go. Alright. That becomes in Super NES. Very well, exclamation. I shall see you again. I'm taking her. Okay, so Super NES is rearranging things here. Alright, I better read the full line then. Let me bring this down. Alright. Super NES, you're making this harder for me. Alright, so ならばこの女は預かっていこう。お前とはぜひまた会いたい。I definitely want to meet with you again. その約束の証としてな。And this is how would we do? And this will be like, proof that we have this agreement. She will be like the token of this promise, is how that came out in Super NES. And then, so Super NES was, I shall see you very well, I shall see you again. I'm taking her as a token of this promise. So token of this promise is good. So like, all this is pretty well handled. Poe's looking at me. What's up? Yeah.
Okay.
We're just talking about Golbez.
Okay. Julie was.
Actually, I want to take a break so I can go to the bathroom and close the windows.
Okay.
I apologize for the suddenness of this. So, what we'll do is, I'm gonna do this, and then do this. Oh shoot, I don't remember which one it is. Add existing. Okay, that's good. Is that even showing up? All right. So I gotta take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute. I'll put the music back on, don't worry. Okay, if you can hear me, let me know. Please say, Golbez. Alright, let me get back to business here.
Golbez.
Alright. Oof, I have to get caught up. Okay. So, alright, so before it was like, in that case, I will hold on to this girl. I definitely want to meet with you again. And this is a token of that promise. So that's how that goes. And all Super NES seems to have that pretty well. But he's more like, I would like to see you again, but whatever. Alright. So in J2E this became, so I'll take her. It's been a pleasure defeating you. We must do it again sometime. And since I have this girl, there will be a next time. ... So, how did that... So all that kind of chewing the scenery was already there from the original patch. It's been a pleasure defeating you. So it's this kind of stuff that's just nonsense. I'm gonna take off 2 points for this because I don't even know. Maybe 3. I think it's kind of weird. I mean, everything gets through, but it's also just through this filter of junk. Like, someone got in the way of the translating, maybe. Like, maybe in that first patch, there was just a bunch of people goofing off in the chat room or something and came up with this. That's a good way to think of it, just like chat room people back in the 90s, late 90s maybe, like AOL chat rooms or maybe IRC.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Okay, so let's do naming way now. And so he says, oh, you care for this one, do you? Then let me take her along as well. To hold in trust that we will meet again. Okay, let me look. Then I will take her. In that case, I will take this girl. At this, oh man, we got some loud outside stuff going on. Okay, so we have as well was added into the naming way. It's not in there, but it's implied, I guess. So he's very much saying that, like, I want to meet you again. Like, I want to meet you. Like, he specifically wants to. And this is a symbol. Yeah, this is a symbol of that promise. She is the symbol of that promise. The phrasing here is weird. I'm gonna take it I don't know how to even grade it at this point. Alright. And then, one more. Yukuzo Kain. And it's kind of like, let us go, Kain. Or like, come. Yeah, you can say come sometimes. Like I mentioned the other day, iku and kuru mean come or go and come, but the usages will overlap in translation because we'll use them differently in English. So come, Kain is fine. Let's go, Kain. Come, Kain. Alright, so we're done with this scene. Okay, Golbez walks on top of Rosa and she disappears. And now he walks slowly away. He walks out of the screen, off the screen.
He absorbed her.
Mm-hmm. Kain turns forward and grabs the crystal. Walks down, stops at Cecil, looks down at him. Then Rydia faces Kain. Kain says, Inochi biroi, blah blah. Inochi biroi shitana, seshiru. Kind of just means, you've escaped with your life, Cecil. Inochi biroi. Narrow escape from death. Literally means like picking up a life. Alright. Super NES, you had a narrow escape, Cecil. I would have liked that phrase better. That feels like it's still kind of in the pre-editing era phase. J2E. Looks like you get to live a bit longer, Cecil. What did it used to be? Oh, just some differentness? Okay. Naming way says, your life is spared for now, Cecil, period. I would have liked the exclamation there. Like, you get to live for now is kind of how it feels to me. Okay, those are all fine, I guess. and Kain exits the scene. Cecil struggles with words, because remember, he's technically lost all of his HP now. He goes, ma, ten, dot, te. And that means wait. Like he's trying to say the word wait or stop. Sometimes wait and stop, you have to switch. Like when you're telling someone to not do something, you can say wait or you can say stop. But sometimes one fits better than the others. All right. Literally it does mean wait, though. So that becomes in Super NES, wait. And then in J2 it's way, dot, eat, wait, I guess. Naming way copies the Super NES, wait. That's fine. They're all showing that he's not doing just a full normal word. Rydia walks to the center of the screen, looks down, looks kind of sad, and Cecil goes, dot. And we saw something like this earlier. There's a chance it could be short for kuso, which would mean like damn it. But I'm not sure. Then this became in the Super NES, like it's not even technically a word, like if you do it like that. So he's just making a sound more than anything, maybe. The Super NES that just became Rosa, dot. I'll take off a point. J2E became ag, dot. I don't think it's ag, I think he's upset. But because I can't read through time and space, I'll leave it. Rosa, it says Rosa in naming way too, so I'll take that off. Like KH would be a good, maybe, yeah. Alright, Rydia looks forward, walks to the center of the room, looks around at everyone, holds up her hand, and shouts, Kearu! And that's the cure spell. And that is just a cure everywhere. It used to be Kaal in the old J2E patch, as we saw. So it used to be Kaal here too. If you're new, or if you haven't seen the past streams, we've talked about cure and the cure spells and all that. We talked about all that stuff back on day 1, I think. Alright, Kiaru. So she's doing the cure spell. And she does the spell. Ying and Edward are now like fully back up. Cecil is back up, but still kind of stooping. I mean, he technically was dead. I don't know how the cure spell worked on him here. Was it rolling HP? He's just going real slow. Alright, so now Rydia, Yang, and Edward stand around Cecil. Rydia says, Daijoubu, are you okay? Kind of thing. That becomes, you okay? In Super NES with an capitalized O for some reason on the okay. Oh yeah, I talked on Blue Sky about that Choctaw okay thing. If you want to see the okay, where maybe the word okay comes from, check my Blue Sky account. I have a thing about it. That becomes Are You Alright? In J2E. I would have liked something smaller than that, because that feels pretty, a little more formal and complete than just Daijoubu, like a little kid would say. Naming Way says, thanks, no wait.
They skipped a line.
Yeah, Rydia's line is missing, so Naming Way will be removed here. Okay, Gilbert responds, Arigato, Rydia. Thank you, Rydia. Demo, Rosa ga sarawarete shimatta, ... But Rosa was kidnapped, ... Or abducted. Alright. That becomes, thanks, Rydia, but Rosa was taken, period. It looks like Gilbert does not even thank Rydia in J2E, so I'm going to take that out of. That's pretty rude, J2E. What were you doing? It was always that way, though, it looks like. Oh, wait. He used to say, yeah, ... But that's also wrong. I could mark double wrong on that if I wanted to.
No.
Alright, so in the J2E, he says ... Rosa ... kidnapped, period. It's weird. That's pretty funny, weird. Okay, I don't know what's going on with J2E. I'm going to take off another here. And then, in Naming Way, thanks, Rydia ... But Rosa was taken. I kind of just like flipped the punctuations on that one. But I like that the word but is in there. That's good. Yeah, that J2E is weird there. All right, continue. Did we miss something?
No, I have a question.
Yes.
Were you taught in school to never start a sentence with but?
And, yeah. Yeah. That's...
Don't listen to that.
I mean, if you're doing like essays, that kind of thing, that's important. Like, you want to stay clear. But dialogue, when people speak in real life, all rules go out the window.
Yeah.
The rules exist because of the people, not the other way around.
Oh.
Is how I feel.
Okay.
So when like the Oxford Dictionary Pope tries to take over the world in 2050, we all have to chant, "You are not our Oxford Pope. You work for us, but you work for us." All right. Okay, she was kidnapped. Yang continues this discussion with "Kristaru mo mamori nakatta," and we couldn't protect the crystal either. ... It just became "and the crystal" period in Super NES, but we see what's happening. The "and" is there. That's nice. I like the "and" is there. J2E ... We couldn't protect the crystal ... I ... failed ... Okay, so the "I failed" part is wrong. So J2E, work off on that. I would have liked the word "and" or "also" or "to" in there, because it's saying not just that but also that. Those are the things that got stolen. Maybe it was used to be in there. No. All right. And then in naming way, he just says "and the crystal," period. I would have liked more than that, but okay. And then Cecil just says "those ... And that is that exists in all three versions, so that's okay.
We should have a celebration whenever that happens.
Well, yeah, I have some stuff. Here, we'll do this.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, now Yang and Edward now look sad too, and Rydia looks sad. Everyone's just looking at their feet. Rydia comes to the fore, looks at them all, and then this little girl is the one who's going to cheer up all of these war-defeated men. She says, in a like youthful, feminine way, "Shikari shite yo minna. Rosa wa kitto buji yo. Kristaru datte torikaeseba ii janai." And that means, pull it together, you guys. Pull together, everyone. I'm sure Rosa is okay, or I'm sure Rosa will be okay. And when it comes to the crystals, we just need to take them back, you know? Like, and then Super NES, that becomes, "Come on." So she's cheering everyone up, or like telling them to get it together. I would have liked that in the Super NES there. Rosa is all right. She's saying, "I'm certain or sure that she'll be all right." Take one off of that. And we can take back the crystal too. I would have put the word "always" in there. That would have been a little bit closer. We can always take the crystal back too. But that's fine as it is now. J2E, "Hey, don't give up so easily. Rosa's gonna be all right." Okay, Rosa's gonna be all right. I kind of like there. And we can get back the crystal. I would have liked the word "always" in there too. Like kind of the "always" kind of lies underneath the blah 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 ba ii janai in this case. Like just in this case, it just has that feeling to me. That word "hey" in there was added for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, so it's saying don't give up so easily is more like pull it together. I'm sure Rosa's gonna be all right. Okay, so everything's accounted for. It's kind of wonky, but that's fine. Naming way says, "Come on, Rosa's all right, and we can take back the crystal too."
It's the same. Sort of.
I would have liked more here. There should be something more in here in this "Rosa's all right" part. Rosa will be all right. Okay. Like, she's all right now. We're not worried about right now. We just saw her. Like, she's still breathing, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future. All right. So she's been giving them a lecture. And then Gilbert goes ... So dane. And that's like dot dot dot. Yeah, you're right kind of feeling. Like, yeah, you're right. And it just became, that's right, Super NES, dot dot dot, that's right in J2E. And that's right, period, in naming way. You can also say something like, yeah, good point. Something, just, these are all okay. They could have been phrased differently too. All right, everyone is now looking at Cecil, and Cecil's still looking down. Yang says, Seshiru dono, kondo wa wareware ga chikara ni naru ban. Sir Cecil, now it is our turn to help you, kind of how that works. Now it's our turn. Okay, he's not talking to Cecil, that line about Sir Cecil, like him still showing respect to us. I'll take that out of Super NES. We will help you this time. That almost sounds like this time we'll help you, but not next time. It's a weird phrasing, but okay, whatever. J2E. Sir Cecil, now it's our turn to fight for you. Okay, that's good. Okay. Then this naming way has the Sir Cecil line missing. We'll take off that. Then he says, it's time to repay my debt. That's not really, I mean, you can, a couple logical steps forward and you can get to that line, but that's not what's being said. All right. Then he says, karada o yashi, kyushutsu ho kangaimashou. So let's rest our bodies and think of a rescue method. Like let us rest and conceive a rescue plan, something like that. This became, heal the wound and let us think about how to rescue Rosa. Heal the wound is really weird, so I'm going to take off a point on that. But the main details are in there, so I'm going to stick with no more points off on that. J2E, we must discuss a plan of attack, but first we must rest. Okay, first it's not a plan of attack, it is a rescue. Yeah, kyushutsu-ho, I mean, rescue, extricate, reclaim, deliverance, and ho is usually like a method. Is it in here? Yeah, method on that second one there. All right. So I just marked them off, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. This becomes, let us heal our wounds and come up with a strategy in naming way. That's closer. Mm-hmm. I would have liked the strategy to specifically say like rescue, but that's okay. And then Cecil goes, arigato, ... And then that's Super NES, thank you, ... J2E, thank you, Yang, ... The Yang's name isn't specifically in there, but it's okay. Looks like it was always there, to be honest. Like,
we can't have our celebration.
Yeah, okay, and then Cecil says thank you, ... there. All right, now we have control of the party. Okay, so what's going to happen now? Because I'm looking at the time. At the most, I want 30 more minutes. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. 30 minutes? Okay. We're not going to get through everything in 30 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk around the castle a little bit and see if any text has changed. Like Ying's wife will have new text, for example. I think a lot of people will have new text. And then if they won't let us walk outside, then I'll just do a save state. But we'll just like kind of, we're going to do a cleanup routine. We're going to go and clean and try to find all the text that is missing. We'll go.
According to the chat, we might have not taken that point off for J2E.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone. Like, you guys are my good support team. Thank you guys. You guys are my, like,
We have streamer brain.
Yeah, so you guys are like the other 4 party members in Cecil's party. All of you guys are way more stronger and more knowledgeable than me. So and you guys, good support.
So as we walk around, Cecil has just been betrayed by Kain. Rosa was stolen.
Yeah, the crystal taken.
Crystal was taken. Oh my god, he's hitting rock bottom right now. Mm-hmm. Dang.
All right, so if we go back in here, does it play the music? Yeah, it plays the crystal music. I get flagged every time this song plays. I'm never going to monetize these because of dang ass YouTube. All right, so this is called the Crystal Room Everywhere, so we can do this. We'll do a different one.
I forgot we had that one.
Yeah, MUSTIN made a bunch of those things for us when we paid him a bunch of money many years ago for that stuff. I really like working with MUSTIN. I look forward to it in the future.
He's so fun to talk to. Very chill.
He feels like a modern samurai to me somehow.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just standing on this door somehow. It's like a raft. All right. So this is the first time we can actually walk around in the throne room freely. So there's some items in here. We got the Hermes shoes in this pot, and we've already looked at that in past ones.
Yeah, I remember. I thought it was an equipment, and it's not.
All right. You can step on the switch here, and then go in here, and down over here.
That's so fun.
Yeah. So there's 3 secret chests here. We have a spider thread that we already saw before. We have the Demon's Shirudo. That's the demon's shield. It was called Black in Super NES and Demon in the other 2. So demons are not allowed in this game, I guess. Even though there's like terrible looking monsters that are clearly demonic in this game, just can't call them demons.
Nope.
And we have an ether. And then we're gonna walk out of here. So in this throne room is like, I don't know if it's the right word. Is it Chamberlain, maybe?
Yeah.
A retainer guy. An old wizard-looking guy is in here.
A wizard retainer.
And let's talk to him. He says, Heika wa shugeki de fusho sare, shinshitsu ni fusete shimawareta. Sorry, I'm about to burp there. Did that make it sound more authentic? My words started to stumble at the end there. All right, so it means that His Majesty was suffered injuries in the raid, and is like resting in the bedroom. But it's like because he's a royal guy, although the grammar is now speaking very highly of the guy. All right, so that becomes the king has been wounded, so he is resting in his bedroom. This is the Super NES. All right, that's fine. I would have liked to have said wounded in like the attack, the raid, the Shugeki charge attack raid. All right, his J2E, His Majesty was injured in the attack and is resting in his bedroom. I would have liked attack to have not just been attack, maybe like raid or siege or something, because an attack can just be like a bop with a stick. All right, okay. Naming away. The king was wounded. He's resting in his room. Like all of the fancy grammar and the fancy words that are used here in Japanese, it all just becomes very plain, simple, basic English. Like there's no like formality or politeness. None of that is in there. It's just all flattened in naming way. I won't mark it off though.
This is a good song.
It really gets the idea across.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're leaving the throne room. All right, now we got these guards posted out front. I guess not all the guards died. All right, so this guard is saying, "Seshiru dono tachi mo otsukare desho. Yado ni demo itte oyasumi kudasai." So it's saying that you guys must be tired, but politely, like calling us by the third person. Seshiru dono tachi. You must be tired. It's the O in there. He's basically saying you guys must be tired. Go to the inn or somewhere else and please rest. So it's not just the inn. We could technically have gone somewhere else, but it's a suggestion that pushes us to the inn, gameplay wise. So it says, again, it's being very polite to us. They're being quite polite to us in Japanese. You must be tired, period. Please rest at our inn. It's fine, I guess. J2E, you must be tired. Please rest at the inn. Whoa.
A boat?
Alright, so the J2E had some major changes on this line. Originally, it used to say, you'll be able to use a boat, but for some unknown reason, the waves have been violent recently. Be careful. So that's all this what this text used to be in the old J2E patch. Maybe it's a technical problem and this is another line.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's what it feels like.
A different line.
Like I feel like maybe this is what he's gonna say after we talk to the king. But anyway, they fixed that. Naming way. You must be wary. Please rest. Wow, everything just gets chopped the heck up.
I also don't like the word weary because people mix it up with wary.
Oh yeah. You
gotta be careful.
Wow, so much just gets just trimmed. All right. It's the gameplay. It's like the most important thing here is it's telling you where to go. Mm-hmm. And so I'll be okay with that. All right, we could go down there, but I don't want to yet. So we're walking around here. I'm gonna walk around, see if there's any new people up here. Probably not. Again, I always mix this part up with Doma Castle. Like sometimes there's people up here in Doma Castle. All right, so let's go to this the left castle, as it's called.
Always go left.
All right, it looks like treasure chests are back. Did they get refilled? Or did I just never take them? Got a potion. We got the South Pole Wind. And then we got the bomb fragment. I feel like we got those already last time. Did they refill?
Did we get two?
Maybe.
Well, there's so many people.
Yeah, so this was where like the nursing room, I guess we call it, like the recovery room, the medical room, something. There was only like naming way in it before, but now there's like 4 monks in bed. I guess they got hurt in battle. Alright, so the head nurse person here, the white wizard says, Watashi ni mo Rosa sama hodo no marioku ga areba. That means if only I had magic as strong as Rosa sama's as well. Like Lady Rosa. Like
she's a healer.
Yeah, she's like being polite about her, but that must show respect of her skill, her rank, I don't know. But very highly respected here. Unfortunately, she's gone. Alright, one of the monks in the bed. Oh wait, let me go back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Watashi ni mo Rosa sama hodo no marioku ga areba. If only I had her level of magic. Alright, Super NES. I wish I could use white magic as well as Rosa. So
the white magic.
Use the white magic. So technically white is not even in here. And it's asking for power. Like, I wish I had her magic power. But it's okay. I wish there had been like some respect in here, but the fact that he's like looking up to her here kind of shows some respect, so I'm okay. If only I had as much magic power as Rosa, ... Yeah, that's the closest one so far in J2E. Naming way. Wish I could use white magic as well as Rosa. There's like a negative connotation I'm getting through this, like he's beating himself up, but or she, I don't know. I'll just let it go. Okay, this monk who's lying in bed says Baru no heiryoku ni mamono made kuwawatte wa ... So it's kind of like with now that monsters have joined Baron's like army ... That's kind of the idea. Like now they even have monsters in their army now. And the implication is like, we stand no chance against that. All right. Super NES, they even have monsters on their side. ... I actually kind of like that. That's kind of getting to the heart of the matter without using the same words.
Yay! They gained a point.
Yeah. Okay, J2E. Monsters were a part of Baron's army. To think that monsters were part of Baron's army. Yeah, like this, to think that fills in the vibe a little more. He's just, I don't like that exclamation there. I would have liked it differently. That's okay. And then naming way also says they even have monsters on their side. I'll give that a point since that's the exact same as Super NES. Alright. Another monk says Yatsuo ... Golbez Appears ... exclamation. So there's verb. A verb is missing here. So like he's struggling to come up with a sentence, but he's basically saying verb Golbez ... exclamation, whatever verb is, you got to fill in that verb because that's how Japanese works. So he's trying to tell us to deal with Golbez, like get rid of Golbez, do something about Golbez. And Super NES, he just says Golbez. J2E, it looks like they filled in the verb with the word kill, so that became kill ... that Golbez. It's a weird line, so I'm just gonna, and it's not even a full sentence, so I'm just gonna say this is okay. Alright, so that line is the same, and that line is the same. Okay. Moving on up.
Does naming way have something different?
It was the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same. We'll look again, just to be careful. Yeah, all those things are the same.
Naming way?
Naming way? Yeah, look.
You're looking up.
I'm looking here.
Up at the monk?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's what he's saying, the same line as this one.
Yeah.
So two...
I meant him.
Oh, naming way, yeah. I've already talked to him.
Okay.
Okay, we're on the third floor. This is this is Yang's wife that we're going to talk to. Earlier, at the start of the stream, I pointed out how they kind of did dialects with her. I also talked about it yesterday. Okay. Alright, so in Japanese, we're now talking to Yang's wife, and now she is identified as Yan no Okusan, Yang's wife. And she has like this fiery, spirity speaking style in Japanese. Anta buji datta ne. And it says, honey, you're safe, or you made it out alive, or something like that. That became my ... exclamation, you are alive. That anta, the feeling of the anta there, in Japanese, anata can mean you, but if it's like a wife talking, it can also just mean like honey or dear. If I hover over it, maybe it'll show it. Well, because this is the contraction, anta, the familiar contraction, it changes it, so I can't look it up there. But that nuance is missing in Super NES, but that's fine. Yang's wife in J2E just says, you're safe. The "your" who's specifically being spoken to isn't clear in J2E. I'll take out the point. And then naming way, hun, you're okay. That's pretty okay. I like that. I kind of like this one the best out of them all. I'm going to give that a point. It feels like it's coming from like the PSP, DS, something, but that's alright. It's better than the rest. Oh, crap.
Oh, it used to be better.
So J2E used to have it different. And they used to say, I see you're alright, dear. Okay, it used to be better. Alright. Alright, so Yang responds, Minasan no okage de watashi mo Fabulu mo tasukata no da. That means thanks to everyone else, both Fabul and I were saved. And Super NES, they saved not only me, but Fabul as well. Okay, I can see everything's covered in there, that's fine. J2E, thanks to these people, Fabul was saved. Oh, he's not saying that I was saved too. There's a mistake in there. Yeah, so he didn't say that I was also saved, even though like it would make no sense if he died and he wouldn't be saying this line, but it would be nice to have the full list there. Okay, naming way. They saved not only me, but Fabul as well. Okay, that's fine.
Was it ever established why her name is Sheila there?
We already talked about this last time. Yeah, there's like a backporting from After Years or something. Okay. And I marked off points already. Like I wasn't sure if I should do it every time or one time, so I just did it one time. If we did it every time, everything would start to get crazier. Alright, next line. Yang's wife now says, Uchi no ga sewa kaketa ne, arigatou yo. But like, with more spirit than I am, because I'm just a quiet guy right now. He's, man. Uchi no ga, that's, I don't know I can't go into the details on that, but it's saying that like, my man, my husband is, thank you for helping my husband, or like, sorry that my husband has caused you trouble. but the arigatos are there. So the thank you for helping my husband can also be an interpretation. That became thanks for everything. And all the like little nuances are kind of lost, but it's okay. Thanks for everything. Like thanks for helping them out. Like specifically saying like thanks for my husband, thanks for helping my husband, thanks for everything doesn't say that, so I took off a point just now. That became you've done a lot for us. Thank you very much. ... The delivery is all off, and I think she's talking specifically about the husband. If people in the chat want to point that out or like argue about that, let me know. I could probably go either way, but I'm going to mark off a point on this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Naming way. We sure do owe you one. We sure do owe you one. Thanks. That's pretty good. It also covers stuff in an interesting way. I'll stick with that. Alright, so Yang's wife now says, Atarimae sane. Man, that sane feels very dialectical there. Anta no tsuma da yo. And saying like, of course, or like, it's only natural. Wait. Did I miss a line here? Oh, okay, Yang said, I missed the line in Japanese. Yang says, Omae koso kega wa nai no ka? And he's saying, what about you? Are you hurt? Are you not hurt? Are you okay? And so that became, are you okay? In Super NES. And J2E, no one harmed you, did they? Okay, that's fine. Anyway, are you okay? That's fine. Alright, so then Yang's wife responds to that. Atarimae sane, anta no tsuma da yo. And it's kind of like, of course I'm okay, of course I am. I'm your wife. Alright, that became, are you okay? Yang's wife just says, sure. The whole point of the joke being like, I'm your wife is missing in Super NES. I would have liked that. J2E, of course not. I'm your wife after all. Okay, so they got it in there. Naming Way just says, yep. Okay, I'll take off that point. She continues, Barun hei ga kita kedo, fraipan de bunagutte yatta yo. So, Baron soldiers came, but I like, kicked the crap out of them with my fry pan. I beat the crap out of them with my fry pan. Like, it has that kind of fire to it. And I became, a soldier came, but I hit him with my frying pan. Hit is a lot weaker. Like, bashed or like, knocked the crap out of him. Hit him is kind of weak. Okay. That became in J2E. A soldier from Baron came, but I whacked him over the head with my frying pan. Okay, so we're seeing that get closer. But again, it says just one soldier. There could have been multiple. Alright, naming way. A soldier came up, but I whacked him with my frying pan. Alright, so specifically, it doesn't say Baron soldier, but that's alright. Alright, so everything there's... Alright, I was worried that line was going to take longer than it did. Okay, maybe like 15-20 minutes left. There's not much more to do. So, we're doing okay on time. Alright, we're in the right tower now. This is the room that had 3 monks and one in one bed. Alright, one of the monks says, Hiku te ga iseki demo areba taiko shudan mo aru daro ni. That's saying if we at least had one airship, we would have a way of fighting back! Exclamation. So they're lamenting the fact that they didn't have an airship. There's no way to fight back. If they just had one, they would have had a way. Alright, in Super NES, if we had an airship, so iseki demo, like at least just one is the feeling, just one. Here it says, if we had an airship, we might have been doing a bit better than this, ... So you can see that the characterization here is kind of different. And the at least feeling this isn't as strong as I would have liked. But I won't mark off. J2E, if only we had an airship, we could have some way to fight back. Yeah, that's fine. And then naming way, if we had an airship, we might have won, ... And tone on this is wrong, but more importantly, it's just a way to fight back, not that we would have won. So I took off a point just now. Okay, I think this guy's going to say the same thing. Alright, this other monk in bid might say something different. Oh yeah, he's just saying I'm meditating. We've already seen that guy. Okay, we went upstairs. This is where that, I guess, cross-dressing warrior monk is. I don't know if it's going to be the same. Just to be sure, let's try it, see what happens, but... Yeah, it seems to be the same.
Cecil, did you forget?
He just really likes this dance. Counter? That's what the thing is called. It took me a day to realize that the thing would be called a counter.
A bar counter, yeah.
Alright, so here's this, well, I've trapped this little boy now, but he's very energetic, and we saw him say boyish stuff before. Now, after the big battle, this boy goes, Acho! Boku mo hayaku shugyo shitai na. And saying, like, Haya! I can't wait to hurry and start training too. Like, I want to train too soon, something like that. Like, he just wants to, he's kind of mimicking everything he saw. He looks up to the fighting martial arts guys. Yesterday, we looked all through the Acho stuff. Please check that out on yesterday's stream. I have like voice clips and information slides and things. Alright. Acho, I want to be strong like our karate fighters. So, no, he's saying like, I can't wait to get training. I want to start training right now, kind of feeling. Not just that eventually he wants to become strong. He wants to start training now. So I'm going to take off that little nuance. J2E, he says, Achu! It used to be Achu, but with not all caps, just some caps. Alright, J2E. I want to train to be strong and quick like our monks. So it looks like this is a mistranslation. They saw the word hayaku, which means like I want to hurry up and do this. They saw that and saw quick as a description of the monks. So did I already mark this off?
I don't think so.
Alright, mark that off. Looks like it used to be a little different. Achu, I want to train too, is what that used to be. If you had just put the word like I want to hurry up, that would have been good. Naming way. Hiya! I want to be a strong monk. Also, it didn't translate Acho. I'll take off one on J2E here. Alright, then Hiya, I want to be a strong monk. At least to translate the Acho part, the monk part is wrong. Alright. So you're free to go. Oh, looks like the pots might have restored. So we have another Bacchus wine here. But nothing there. That's strange. Alright. Now there's a lady at the bar counter. Let's talk to her. Kono Fabul wa machi ga shiro no naka de yokatta wa. Good thing that Fabul is inside a castle. The town of Fabul is inside a castle. Good thing. And with the wa particle at the end for emphasis, feminine emphasis. Omote dattara ima goro wa ... And that means if it were outside, then by this time, or like by the time we're talking now ... Or we'd already be ... kind of implication, like we'd already be dead or destroyed or ruined. Super NES. It's good that our town is within the castle! Exclamation. But the second line is missing, so I'll take a point off here. J2E. I'm glad the town of Fabul is within the castle walls. If we were outside, we'd be dead now. Yeah, so I filled in the blanks with that ... which is a common thing. Yeah, so I used to say I'm glad the town of Fabul is within, or inside the castle walls.
Inside the castle.
Yeah, inside the castle, okay. So this phrasing, within the castle walls, is fine. If it had been inside the castle walls, then you could get the ambiguity of like there's a town of people living inside walls. But that's not the case here, okay. It did good job, J2E. Naming way. Good thing that our town's walled. Okay, I was missing that second part. Alright, bartender. Yeah, sugoi kogeki datta ne. And it's like, whoa, what an attack that was. That was quite an attack, wasn't it? Boy, that was quite an attack. That's kind of how all that feels. Super NES. What an attack. J2E. Wow, that was one hell of a attack. What was that before? Okay. That's fine. I would have... The hell of a is a little stronger than maybe I would have done. But it's okay. Naming way. What an attack. ... It's very trimmed down. I would have liked more, but I'll stick with it. Alright. Oh no. Get out of there. Alright. Now we're going to the top floor of the right tower. This is the king's room. I don't want to mess this up, so I'm going to do the save state. Alright, this chest is open again. We have gotten another tent. Okay, the old lady in the room is walking around. Let's see what she has to say. Looks like there's an easy type change as well. Whenever that happens, we should get like a special bonus easy type sound. I'll have to figure that out.
It's just me eating cake.
Oh. Alright. Heika mo naute no monku dattan ja. Nan no shinpai mo iran wa. Okay, she's speaking in a very old style. Like, not old style, but like an old person would. And it's saying that, like, His Majesty was also a well-respected, well-known monk. Naute is kind of a fancy word. That's probably what got changed. Yeah, it's not even in here. Let me see if I can do this magical on it. Naute, yeah. Maybe. No, okay. So he's just like the fancy word. It used in an easy type? Yeah, okay. So they changed this first line. So, wakai koro wa heika mo monku dattan ja. So it's saying in his youth, His Majesty was also a monk. So not that he was like a proficient or renowned, just that he was also one in his youth. So there's a little bit of a change in that easy type, but we're not rating easy type, so they're lucky. Super NES. The king used to be a great karate fighter also. There we see the karate thing again. And that was a question, like every time karate comes up, should we change? Should we mark off? I think I said I was going to do case by case, and I don't feel that it matters here. As long as it's consistent, maybe. We'll take off the one time, and then after that it's fine. The king used to be a great karate fighter also. It's nothing to worry about. Yeah, so that second line is saying there's no need for any worry at all. So he used to be a proficient monk too. There's no need to worry. Because the king was wounded and he's in bed right now. Alright. J2E. His Majesty was also a monk, so don't worry about his safety. I don't know. The tone on that is pretty weird. It looks like it doesn't have the part about the naute part, the proficient part. And it looks like it's taken from the easy type, if anything. I'm gonna take off that little detail. The fact that he used to be like a really good monk is good. Alright. Naming way. The king was also once the high monk. There's no need to worry about him. So there's no need to worry about him is pretty close. It's like the closest of them all. It was the high monk. It was incorrect. I'll take off that detail. He was not necessarily the high monk. Maybe he was according to the after books. Alright, now we gotta talk to the king, and this is why I did the thing. I think I have to talk to him later. He's gonna tell me to talk to him later. Alright. The king says, "Nan toyu koto da," and it's kind of like, how could things get this way, or like what a terrible situation this is. I can't believe things are this way. ... That's how that feels. Nan toyu koto da. That line is missing in Super NES. J2E, this became "Good God, what a mess." ... That "Good God" is so weird. It makes it sound that like everyone in the game, because they're saying God, as maybe they're all like worshiping the same God, maybe. I don't know. It's coming from our colloquial everyday English. Mm-hmm. Should that be applying to like an Asian themed king who's in like a royal bedroom? I don't feel like it is. I feel like it detracts. All right. Then that's just taken out of the naming way. Naming way is getting a lot taken out of this line. All right. So like, what a state of affairs. ... Daga taisei o tate naoshi. Mamori o katamen to ikan. However, we must regroup ourselves, like reform, and tighten our defenses. Like, we must do this. And he's speaking in like an older person style. Super NES. We will have to do something, period. So, yeah, there's a lot missing in there. We'll take that off on Super NES. J2E. But we've got to reorganize and strengthen our defenses. Okay, that's good. Naming way just says we need to take action, comma, and that's all that has there. That's very not what he's saying. Took off that point. Alright, then he has another line here. Watashi no koto wa shinpai iran. You need not worry about me, is how that feels. Like, even that phrasing kind of feels like it. You need not worry about me. That just became do not worry in Super NES. That's fine, but all the fun flavor comes out of that. Don't worry about me. And J2E, period. Alright. Nothing in naming way. I'll take all that off on naming way. Then I think there's another line we're going to see here. So natara mo toriaezu yasumu ga yoi. So he's giving us a command. He's saying, as for you, you too should rest for now. Okay, and it just comes out as and rest for now in Super NES. Okay, that's fine. I would have liked more, but that's fine. J2E, you should get some rest for the time being. I like this mo in here. If you can see it, it means also or too. So I would have liked also in there somewhere. Was it maybe in there? Nah. It's okay though, because he's resting and he got wounded, and he understands that we, we're in the battle and we got wounded. So he's concerned for us too, on top of himself. Naming way, but rest for now. How's all that came? Man, he says that in such a cool way in Japanese too. But rest for now is all it became. Alright. We have a couple more people to talk to, and then we're out of here. Yeah, a lot of this I'm splitting hairs. These are kind of important scenes. Okay, so now we're back to floor 1. There's 2 guards out here. And this guard says, ware ga itaranai bakari ni. And this is kind of a fancy way of saying, like, it was our ineptitude that ... It was because of our ineptitude that ... So they're lamenting the fact that they're so, like, they're not good enough to be fighters, because remember, these were all just like barely trained fighters, and so they're lamenting their lack of their ability. In Super NES, this became no ... I'll take that point off. J2E, and we sit here useless ... Honestly, I don't like the way this comes across. It doesn't seem to be pointing at the same thing precisely. Damn, I don't know. I'm gonna say it's okay. I'll just let it have. I'll let it have the point. Then naming way just became dreadful ... The whole point, like, what is dreadful? It doesn't make sense. Same with oh no. Looks like maybe they just saw oh no and rephrased it. It's saying that, like, we just weren't good enough, which caused this. It's because of our ineptness that caused this. I don't think there's anything in here. I don't want to go to the end yet, because that's where we're supposed to go. We'll go to the end tomorrow. Okay, there's 4 more guards out here, and then that's all of it, I think. Alright. Yeah, they're not going to let us leave, it looks like. So this guard is saying, Ima derarete wa kiken desu. It's dangerous to leave now. And he's speaking politely to us using kind of keigo. Toriaezu oyasumi ni natta houga. For now, and then it's unstated, but I believe it would be best for you to rest. ... So it's kind of still being polite, saying that we should rest for now, is what they believe. So Super NES, it's dangerous out. Please rest now, period. All that stuff gets flattened, but I'll say it's okay. J2E, it's too dangerous to go outside now. For the time being, you should just rest. It used to be something else, let's see. Some formatting. And all the details are in there, it's fine. Even the ... dot's fine. Naming way, it's dangerous out there, rest for now. Okay, we'll just say that's fine. These guys are basically saying you can't leave right now. Same text from this other guard. I think all 4 guards are gonna... Oh, there's 5 guards. Yeah, there's a guard literally blocking the exit, so I can't exit the castle. Saying the same line, saying the same line, saying the same line. Okay. Wait, are these all... Okay, yeah, they're all pulling from just the same single line in the data. Alright, so I guess this is gonna be it. I don't think there's more. I don't want to walk into the end yet, and we've been everywhere else, so this is where we're gonna end it. We're gonna do a save state, and then a second save state. Alright, so here we are. As of now, the Super NES translation is at -142. J2E is at -58, and Naming Way is at -147. We have kind of seen how the J2E is starting to, like, the weirdness is starting to show itself, like little roots are starting to show with characterization, especially when it comes to Golbez. Anything with Golbez, we can expect crazy changes and punch up, and we've only just met Golbez, so there's a lot more Golbez to come. Honestly, I don't think that J2E is ever going to fall beneath Super NES and Naming Way at this point. I don't think the additions are going to count more than the subtractions of the other ones. So probably at this rate, we're going to just see, J2E always stay on top, even though it's in the negatives, as we see. That's my prediction. But who knows how Naming Way is going to go. We've seen it kind of go up and down. It'll cut things out, but also sometimes it'll get all the things in there. Naming Way is kind of like the wild card at the moment. J2E is going to go downhill. Super NES feels consistently just cut, like trimmed mostly. So that's how I see everything right now. Alright, so that's it for today. If you have any questions, please post them on YouTube. You can post them on my article on legendsoflocalization.com. Or if you have any questions right now, just type BBQ in your question, and that'll pop out to me, and I'll try to get to it on the next stream. The next stream will be Monday, so it's a couple days from now, 3 days from now. I'm really hoping when I listen to this that my audio will not be garbled. Yesterday's audio was so bad, I feel so bad. So hopefully it worked out. Hopefully we're not in a tunnel.
It might be time to get a new microphone.
I don't think it's the microphone though. I think it's just my settings. What I'm gonna do maybe is post my settings on somewhere, maybe on Blue Sky or something, and just get crowdsource that.
Okay.
All right. So that's it for now. Thanks for coming by, everyone. And your word for today is, I don't know.
Kiken.
Kiken is danger. You're dangerous. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.